Walking out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, looking at the freshly minted, gold-stamped marriage registration in her hand, Tam Lak Vi still couldn't believe she had just flash-married. Only, the person she flash-married wasn't Fo Tan Tam, the captain boyfriend she had loved for 7 years, but Kai Yan, the man in charge of the Kai Group. A blind date arranged by her family whom she had met for less than a week.
Our bridal room is ready at Villa number 11 in the Summer Palace area.
The man in front of her had delicate eyebrows, deep and three-dimensional features, and a tall stature. The hand-tailored suit hugging his body highlighted his firm waist. Kai Yan handed a car key and a Centurion black card to Tam Lak Vi.
I have prepared a car for you to get around. This card doesn't need a password. Feel free to swipe it. Finish your work in Shanghai, and on the 25th, I will come to pick you up and bring you back to Beijing. On the 30th, we will hold the wedding in sight.
Thank you. But Tam Lak Vi looked at the car key and the card he handed over, intending to refuse, but was interrupted by Kai Yan.
We are already registered. I am your husband. Don't be polite with me. I will go back first to prepare for the wedding. In these last 10 days or so, please resolve your relationship matters in Shanghai decisively.
Hearing this, Tam Lak Vi took the key and the card, nodding decisively. I will do it. I'll wait for you to pick me up on the 25th. Kai Yan then walked towards the Maybach parked nearby. Tam Lak Vi held the car key he gave her and walked towards the Bugatti Type 87 parked on the opposite side. She hadn't driven much in recent years, fearing she might damage the car, so she had sent it straight to the 4S shop. Afterward, she took a taxi back to the place she shared with her boyfriend Fo Tan Tam, Villa number 10 at Dan Palace. Not long after she returned, Fo Tan Tam also came back. Fo Tan Tam, wearing a white captain's uniform, dragged his suitcase in. His face had clear-cut features, flawless and perfect, except for a small mole at the corner of his phoenix eyes. Physiognomists say that is the mark of a fickle man. Tam Lak Vi looked at the European-style wall clock. It was only 3 p.m. Why are you back so early today? You usually come back at 10 p.m. Fo Tan Tam carelessly set his suitcase aside.
A friend is coming back from abroad. I'm going to pick them up later.
Which friend? Tam Lak Vi asked casually. As soon as the words left her mouth, she regretted it. Because Fo Tan Tam never liked her asking about his private matters. She was just a personal travel tour designer, or plainly speaking, a tour guide. While Fo Tan Tam was not only a captain for Tan Vu Airlines, but also the heir to Tan Vu Aviation. Their statuses were too disparate, fundamentally incompatible. They had been together for 7 years, but it was always a secret relationship, never made public. Sure enough, Fo Tan Tam frowned, his tone impatient.
Just a normal friend. You wouldn't know them.
Hearing this, Tam Lak Vi took the hint and didn't ask further. After all, she was married now. Asking too much about another man's business wasn't good. Fo Tan Tam carelessly placed his laptop on the coffee table and went into the bathroom. Not long after he entered, the laptop on the coffee table kept emitting message notification sounds. Tam Lak Vi opened the laptop and saw his WeChat account was logged in. An account with the nickname Forgotten and a profile picture of a beautiful, intellectual woman kept sending messages to Fo Tan Tam. Dan Trian, reading messages, Tan Tam, after breaking up with you 7 years ago, I have regretted it very much. I blame myself for not knowing how to cherish you back then. My final year of university internship was the last year we dated. You were busy every day, and the time I saw you was very little. At that time, there was a man who cared for me very much, giving me the feeling of falling in love again. So I got together with him. But I had no feelings for him. The person I loved, from beginning to end, was still you. I just wanted to make you jealous back then. I didn't expect you to demand a breakup immediately. He and I were only together for a month before breaking up. I always dared not return to Shanghai. I was afraid you wouldn't want to see me, afraid you hated me, afraid you had forgotten our past, and even more afraid of losing you completely. I heard from friends that you have dated many girlfriends, and they all look very much like me. I know you have never forgotten me. If possible, with my return this time, I hope we can forget everything in the past, get to know each other again, and start over from the beginning. The messages came one after another, and Tam Lak Vai just silently read them. Shortly after, Tam Lak Vai saw Fo Tan Tam, who was showering, use his phone to reply to the woman nicknamed Forgotten. Nam, reading message voice Duong Yuyan, you explained so much, I only ask you one question, do you still love me? So the woman nicknamed Forgotten was Duong Yuyan, Fo Tan Tam's first love. Duong Yuyan replied almost immediately. Dan Trian, reading message love. Nam, reading message voice, I will come to Pudong Airport to pick you up at 7 p.m. The message was sent, and Duong Yuyan did not reply further. Tam Lak Vai silently put the computer back in its original position, pretending nothing had happened. Fo Tan Tam came down from upstairs at this moment, having changed into a simple Luro Piena jacket.
I'm leaving.
Tam Lak Vai looked at him and opened her mouth to ask, will you come back tonight? Fo Tan Tam's steps paused, and after a long while, he replied,
Haven't seen this friend in a long time. I won't come back tonight.
That night, Fo Tan Tam indeed did not return, but Tam Lak Vai didn't feel too upset. 7 years together, Fo Tan Tam flew all over the world. They said they were together for 7 years, but the time they actually spent together was barely 328 days. Tam Lak Vai knew Fo Tan Tam had quite a few women on the side, but only now did she discover that the person he truly loved was still his first love, Duong Yuyan. Previously, hearing Fo Tan Tam's friends speak, the reason he was a playboy was that his first love had betrayed him. At that time, she even felt Fo Tan Tam was pitiful and felt sorry for him. Now it seemed the person she should feel sorry for was herself. A dreamless night. The next day, after packing up, Tam Lak Vai went to Tan Vu Airlines to resign. She was a personal travel tour designer for a travel agency affiliated with Tan Vu Airlines, specializing in designing travel plans for the upper class. As soon as she entered the company, she saw a group of flight attendants surrounding a woman, laughing and talking. New colleague Chief Purser Duong, you finally agreed to come back from Los Angeles. 7 years ago, you suddenly resigned without a word, scaring us to death. Now that you're back, the face of Tan Vu Air has returned too. Tam Lak Vai followed the voices and saw Duong Yuyan surrounded by everyone. Duong Yuyan seemed to sense her gaze and looked over as well. The moment their eyes met, perhaps due to a woman's intuition, both recognized the other's identity. At this moment, a colleague close to Tam Lak Vai leaned in near her. New colleague, do you know? This Duong Yuyan is Captain Fu's first love, just returned from Los Angeles. She really has some skill. She cheated, betrayed him, and broke up 7 years ago, yet Captain Fu still can't forget her. Duong Yuyan had long, slightly curled hair, casually draped over a simple white shirt combined with comfortable wide-leg pants, looking both relaxed and elegant. So Fo Tan Tam liked this type of woman. Tam Lak Vai withdrew her gaze, swiped her card to go upstairs to the International Travel Department to submit her resignation. The department head looked at her resignation letter with a puzzled expression. Department head, why do you suddenly want to quit? Just yesterday, someone designated you to go with them to Sri Lanka. If you quit, where am I going to find a private tour guide who knows 10 languages? I have registered for marriage. I have to follow my husband back to our hometown to hold the wedding, and I will stay in the hometown afterwards. Department head, when did this happen? Aren't you single? The department head was puzzled. During the 8 years Tam Lak Vai worked here, he had never heard her talk about dating. It was a blind date arranged by parents on both sides. Department head, where is your husband from? Like me, both from Beijing, living in a small neighborhood. Tam Lak Vai only answered half the truth. Department head, oh, congratulations to you both on your happiness. After Tam Lak Vai gave her thanks, she went to the administration office to process the resignation handover. The handover procedure required a week. After signing the resignation form, HR called her back. New HR, tonight Captain Fu is hosting a welcome party for Chief Purser Duong, inviting the whole company to Lin Jiangxian. Will you join? You're leaving soon. Gather with everyone one last time. Okay. 8 p.m. at Lin Jiangxian. Fo Tan-tam and Duong Yuyan sat next to each other. In the crowd, Fo Tan-tam's eyes always lingered on Duong Yuyan. Perhaps he didn't even know Tam Lak Vi also attended the party. Lin Jiangxian was very lively. Tam Lak Vi sat near the window, just in time to see someone proposing on the balcony. She looked at the happy couple hugging each other with a bit of admiration. Just then, a colleague teased Fo Tan-tam. "Nom, colleague Captain Fu, I hear Lin Jiangxian is a holy land for proposals. Did you come here today to survey the location to prepare for a proposal?" Hearing this, everyone's curious eyes turned towards Fo Tan-tam and Duong Yuyan. Fo Tan-tam smiled without speaking, his gaze inadvertently sweeping over Tam Lak Vi, discovering she was watching someone else propose. His eyes showed obvious displeasure, but he still replied calmly.
If there is good news, I will definitely announce it to everyone.
Tam Lak Vi then withdrew her gaze, her eyes meeting Fo Tan-tam's. She pretended not to hear anything and continued chatting with her colleague. In the distance, other airline colleagues took turns inviting Duong Yuyan to drink. Fo Tan-tam drank every glass for her. As a captain, excessive drinking was taboo, but Fo Tan-tam broke the limit for Duong Yuyan. Before long, he was drunk to the point of unconsciousness, leaning on Duong Yuyan. Duong Yuyan held Fo Tan-tam in her arms and asked everyone. "New, Duong Yuyan Tan-tam is drunk. Can someone help me take him home?" "Nom, colleague sister-in-law, stop joking. You're family. How can you let outsiders like us interfere?" Tam Lak Vi heard the words sister-in-law and involuntarily thought of the 7 years she was with Fo Tan-tam. She had never heard such a title. Tam Lak Vi took a sip of warm water. Then she saw Fo Tan-tam, in his drunken state, hug Duong Yuyan tightly. "Nom, drunk wife, I'm not going back. Wherever you are, home is there, I want to follow you." Fo Tan-tam's words immediately caused the colleagues present to look at each other and tease. "Nom, colleague Captain Fu is truly love-struck. Haven't seen each other for years, but upon reuniting, still so affectionate." Duong Yuyan smiled softly and patted Fo Tan-tam's shoulder. "New, Duong Yuyan be good, after the party ends, I'll take you home." Tam Lak Vi quietly withdrew her gaze, no longer feeling heartbroken. She said to the colleague beside her, "I'm leaving first, I'm feeling a bit unwell." Saying so, she left alone. Upon returning home and washing up, she sat on the sofa in the living room. Tam Lak Vi received a message from Cayenne. "Nom, message, I have ordered a ring at Harry Winston. If you have time, stop by and see if you like it. The wedding is a bit rushed, I've treated you unfairly. If you like any other styles, just buy them all." New message, yes. Just after replying to the message, Tam Lak Vi heard the door open at the entrance. Turning her head, she saw Duong Yuyan supporting Fo Tan-tam as they walked in. Fo Tan-tam kept muttering in his mouth at this time.
Wife, don't go, you're not going. I'll be good.
Tam Lak Vi stood up to go upstairs. Duong Yuyan called her back one step ahead. New, Duong Yuyan, you must be Tam Lak Vi? Tan-tam's secret girlfriend for 7 years. Tam Lak Vi didn't expect Fo Tan-tam to even tell Duong Yuyan about her being a secret girlfriend. She turned to look at Duong Yuyan. "That's right, is there a problem?" New, Duong Yuyan, don't be nervous, I have no malicious intent. I just wanted to say that the 7 years you spent with Tan-tam seemed to be less than 1 day of me and him reuniting. Tam Lak Vi frowned slightly, asking calmly, "What do you mean? Are you here to declare sovereignty?" Duong Yuyan choked on her words, composed herself, and flashed a broad and dignified smile. New, Duong Yuyan, just that as someone who came before, I want to give you some sincere advice. First love is forever first love. Even if there are other relationships later, the first love is always the most special. Thank you for staying by Tan-tam's side for the past 7 years. It's inconvenient for me to stay. Please take good care of him tonight. She put Fo Tan-tam down and then turned to leave the villa. Tam Lak Vi didn't mind her words, called the housekeeper to take care of Fo Tan-tam, and went upstairs to wash up and sleep. Before sleeping, Tam Lak Vi checked the time on her phone. February 14th, only 10 days left until she left the city she had been attached to for 8 years. The next morning, when Tam Lak Vai went downstairs for breakfast, she saw Fo Tan Tam in the dining room looking at his phone. On the screen was a video recorded by a colleague of him hugging Duong Yuan last night and calling her wife. As soon as Tam Lak Vai arrived, he immediately put the phone away, pretending to speak casually.
I'm off today, don't you like shopping? I'll go with you.
It was charity. Previously, whenever Fo Tan Tam did something wrong, he would show pity to Tam Lak Vai for a day or two. Tam Lak Vai sat down and nodded. Okay, it just so happens I have to go look at rings today. Thinking, the wedding ring Kai Yan ordered for me. After breakfast, the driver drove them to the Harry Winston store. Seeing the destination was the jewelry store known as the King of Diamonds, Fo Tan Tam's eyes immediately went cold, and he didn't get out of the car. Tam Lak Vai noticed his displeasure, but didn't care, getting out of the car and entering the store alone. As soon as she entered, the SA, sales assistant, greeted her warmly. New, SA Mrs. Kai, the diamond ring Mr. Kai ordered for you is inside, please follow me. The VIP room presented the ring Kai Yan ordered in front of Tam Lak Vai. The unique Winston Pink Legacy diamond ring with a brilliant pink 18.96-carat diamond, accompanied by two shield-shaped diamonds set on an 18K rose gold and platinum base, sparkling brilliantly. Just as Tam Lak Vai picked up the ring and put it on her hand, Fo Tan Tam walked in. She raised her hand to show off to Fo Tan Tam. Is it beautiful? The natural pink diamond reflected light brilliantly under the lamp. One look and you knew the value was not small. The disgust in Fo Tan Tam's eyes was unconcealed.
Not beautiful. Also doesn't suit you.
The atmosphere in the VIP room suddenly became awkward. Fo Tan Tam continued speaking.
Tam Lak Vai, how many times do I have to say it? I don't want to get married right now. Stop playing these tricks to force marriage. Go look around by yourself.
Saying so, Fo Tan Tam turned and walked away. After he left, the SA carefully asked Tam Lak Vai. New, SA Mrs. Kai, may I ask who that was? Don't worry about it, an ex-boyfriend. Tam Lak Vai said while taking a photo of the ring to send to Kai Yan. Kai Yan replied quickly. Message, very beautiful, suits you very well. You deserve the best. Thank you. After replying, Tam Lak Vai selected a pair of ribbon couple rings to prepare as a return gift for Kai Yan. Then, she walked out of the store and posted a status on Weibo visible only to herself. New, reading status, loved Fo Tan Tam for 7 years. He always refused to marry me. Actually, he didn't know, I would fundamentally never marry him either. Tam Lak Vai got back in the car and went to Top Bridal to try on wedding dresses. As soon as she entered the store manager greeted her enthusiastically. New, manager Mrs. Kai, these are all the latest seasonal models that Mr. Kai arranged. Professional models will model them for you to see. If you like any, you can take them immediately. Every wedding dress on the professional models was beautiful beyond words. Tam Lak Vai took photos of each one and posted them on her friend circle, WeChat Moments. New, reading status, I like every one of them, but the closet is a bit small, can't fit them all. As soon as she posted, comments appeared underneath. Kai Yan, comment, if you like them, just buy them all, I will reserve a separate room for you just to store wedding dresses. New, best friend, comment, congrats. Our eldest Miss Tam is finally getting married. New, colleague, comment, even if you're desperate to get married, you don't need to steal photos, right? Are top bridal wedding dresses something you can afford? At the same time, a message from Fo Tan Tam popped up. Message, delete that post. Tam Lak Vai glanced at it and didn't reply. To the same post on her friend circle, Fo Tan Tam and Kai Yan had opposite reactions. What exactly was he afraid of? Tam Lak Vai finished choosing the wedding dress, walked out of Top Bridal, and returned to Dan Palace. Fo Tan Tam didn't come back. Tam Lak Vai didn't ask either. She pulled out her suitcase and started packing. For the entire week following, Fo Tan Tam didn't return to Dan Palace. Tam Lak Vai knew he was always with Duong Yuyan. Fo Tan Tam shared photos of traveling with Duong Yuyan on his friend circle every day. Aurora in Tromsø, Rainbow Reef in Fiji, Salt Flats in Bolivia. These were all places she had told Fo Tan Tam she wanted to go with him. Fo Tan Tam went, but not with her. On the evening of the 7th day, Fo Tan Tam finally dragged his suitcase back. After showering and wearing a silk bathrobe, he walked into the master bedroom and spoke to Tam Lak Vai, who had just finished showering.
Come here.
Over the years, Fo Tan Tam treated her like a toy, calling her to come and chasing her away. He completely regarded her as a long-term sex partner who would never leave him. Actually, Fo Tan Tam didn't know, for the past 7 years, Tam Lak Vai also needed emotional value, also needed a man, but fortunately, she didn't need one anymore. Seeing she didn't move, Fo Tan Tam walked over, pulled her to sit on his lap, his thumb gently rubbing her cheek.
Have you learned to behave this past week?
Tam Lak Vai remained silent, tilting her head to avoid his hand. Fo Tan Tam didn't mind, leaning down to press her under him, kissing her neck. Tam Lak Vai raised her hand to stop him. Fo Tan Tam, I don't want to do this with you. Fo Tan Tam paused. Do you remember what day tomorrow, February 22nd, is? Tam Lak Vai looked at his handsome face and asked.
What day?
The 7th anniversary of us being together. Fo Tan Tam stood up, meeting her gaze, and gave a faint laugh.
So what?
We've been together for 7 years, and you seem to have never bought me a gift. Could you give me a gift this time? These 7 years had always been her giving unilaterally. Before leaving, she should let Fo Tan Tam reciprocate a little. Hearing this, Fo Tan Tam adjusted his bathrobe.
Okay, I will prepare it for you.
Saying so, he turned and left. Tam Lak Vai looked at his back, the corners of her lips pulling up into a sarcastic smile. Tomorrow was fundamentally not the 7th anniversary, just a completely ordinary day. The next day, Tam Lak Vai had just woken up and walked out of the bedroom when she saw Duong Yuan sitting in the living room on the 2nd floor. Duong Yuan smiled and walked towards Tam Lak Vai. Duong Yuan Tan Tam said today is your 7th anniversary. Last night, I helped him choose gifts for you. Saying so, Duong Yuan led Tam Lak Vai to the cloakroom, opening it to reveal rows of clothes and jewelry. Valentino's Fall/Winter 2024 collection, simple and elegant styles, completely Duong Yuan style, completely unsuitable for Tam Lak Vai. Some of the haute couture pieces inside were even bought according to Duong Yuan's measurements. Tam Lak Vai silently looked at the pile of clothes, saying nothing. Duong Yuan curled her lips, speaking gently. Duong Yuan, Miss Tam, I heard from Tan Tam that you are a tour guide. You probably couldn't afford these clothes in your entire life. However, since you followed him for 7 years without status, he really should compensate you. See if you like these gifts? Fo Tan Tam and Duong Yuan indeed told each other everything. Tam Lak Vai withdrew her gaze. Sorry, I don't like any of these gifts. I'm gifting them back to you. All right, Fo Tan Tam, I'm gifting him to you as well. Having finished speaking, Tam Lak Vai turned and went downstairs. Fo Tan Tam was handling work downstairs. Seeing Tam Lak Vai come down, he closed his laptop.
Before, you always felt I mistreated you. This time, I let Duong Yuan go with me to choose gifts, compensating for all the missing anniversary gifts from before. What do you think? Are these gifts enough?
Letting an ex-girlfriend help choose gifts for the current girlfriend, probably only a philandering man like Fo Tan Tam could do such a thing. Tam Lak Vai spoke slowly. The clothes and jewelry are not my size. But anyway, thank you and Duong Yuan for preparing all night. Saying so, she walked straight out. The moment she stepped out of the villa, a light breeze accompanied by drizzle brushed past her cheeks, creating a feeling of being half-hearted and indecisive. After Tam Lak Vai left, the living room fell into a dead silence. Fo Tan Tam stared at the entrance, his eyes unreadable. At this moment, Duong Yuan came down from upstairs. Duong Yuan Tan Tam, do you see? This girlfriend of yours is quite calculating. You prepared so many gifts for her, wanting to give her a sense of security, but don't you know that in love, a sense of security and a sense of crisis always go hand in hand? The better you treat Tam Lak Vai, the more she will push her luck. You have to create an appropriate sense of crisis for her. Only with that feeling will a woman not leave. Fo Tan Tam didn't reply. After leaving the house, Tam Lak Vai went to the company. Today was the last day for her resignation handover. She was busy all day until finishing time. After handing the last client file to her colleague, she also had absolutely no connection with Tan Vu Airlines anymore. When walking out of the company with a colleague, she bumped into Fo Tan Tam and Duong Yuyan, who had just gotten out of a car preparing to enter the company. The two merely glanced at each other and then quickly looked away in tacit agreement. At the company, they were strangers who didn't know each other, a clandestine affair that couldn't be public. Just then, the colleague suddenly grabbed Tam Lak Vai's left hand, crying out in surprise. "New colleague Tam Lak Vai. Isn't this an HW wedding ring? Are you really getting married? Since when did you have a boyfriend? Working with you for so long and I knew absolutely nothing." Fo Tan Tam, who was walking to the company door, suddenly stopped. He turned his head to look at the ring on Tam Lak Vai's hand. It was the pink diamond from last time. Fo Tan Tam's black eyes immediately filled with coldness. He only heard Tam Lak Vai laugh and reply, "You'll know in a week." Tam Lak Vai talked and laughed, saying goodbye to her colleague. When sitting in the taxi returning to Dan Palace, she opened her phone to see a message Fo Tan Tam had just sent. Message, a week later, I won't marry you either. Tam Lak Vai looked at that message and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Fo Tan Tam, where did he get the confidence to think she couldn't live without him? Tam Lak Vai didn't reply, turning off her phone. Arriving at Dan Palace late at night, the bedroom door was pushed open violently. Tam Lak Vai was woken up. In her daze, she saw Fo Tan Tam walk in with an annoyed look.
I already said, that ring doesn't suit you. Moreover, I don't want to get married right now.
You misunderstood. I just liked it, so I bought it. Tam Lak Vai was half asleep. Fo Tan Tam took out a card and held it in front of her. Tam Lak Vai woke up completely, looking at the card, only finding it sarcastic. Fo Tan Tam didn't lack the money to buy a ring, but because he thought buying a ring meant getting married. He didn't want to marry her. Marriage is a choice based on weighing pros and cons. It's just that she wasn't his top priority. But he didn't know, he wasn't her top priority either. Tam Lak Vai's gaze shifted from the card to Fo Tan Tam's face. This face was still as handsome as 7 years ago. Perhaps because she had registered marriage with someone else. Perhaps because she had a certain other half in the future. Looking back at this face, her heart no longer had any ripples. I paid for it myself. Take this card back. I don't need it. Returning the card to Fo Tan Tam, Tam Lak Vai turned her back to continue sleeping. Fo Tan Tam was stunned. For the past half-month, he didn't know if it was his illusion, but Tam Lak Vai seemed to have turned into a different person. He didn't want to delve deeper, turning to leave. But the moment he turned his head, he saw 8 large suitcases piled up in the corner.
Why did you pack so many suitcases?
Tam Lak Vai replied with her back still turned to him. Preparing to visit my hometown for a trip. Fo Tan Tam frowned in confusion.
Why suddenly want to go back to your hometown?
For 7 years, Tam Lak Vai rarely went home, and he didn't know her family well either. Nothing. I just miss my parents and want to visit them.
Even so, you don't need to pack so much luggage. It's not like you're leaving for good, right?
Over the years, she had bought many souvenirs while traveling, always keeping them at Dan Palace. Every item had a memorial meaning. She couldn't bear to throw them away. Moreover, she couldn't leave the things she loved most in a place without love. 8 28-inch suitcases stuffed full were packed by her personally at home during the week Fo Tan Tam traveled with Duong Yuyan. Fo Tan Tam then dismissed his worry. Perhaps he never truly worried. After all, Tam Lak Vai was the most obedient and sensible woman he had ever met. 7 years together, they were often apart, but Tam Lak Vai never made a fuss. She wasn't like other women who questioned him at the slightest thing, nor was she like other women who would argue with him because he fooled around outside. With a woman who loved him so deeply, Fo Tan Tam was convinced Tam Lak Vai would not leave him.
I've been very busy lately. I don't have time to go back with you. You go alone.
Tam Lak Vai interrupted him. It's okay, I've called a car, someone will pick me up. You don't need to worry. Hearing this, Fo Tin Tam breathed a sigh of relief so slight it was hard to notice.
Okay, let me know when you get to your hometown.
He was very afraid Tam Lak Vai would demand to take him to meet her parents and mention marriage again. Living together for 7 years, Tam Lak Vai didn't need to guess to know what Fo Tin Tam was really worried about. He was worried she would take him home. 3 years ago, Tam Lak Vai once suggested taking him home. That time, Tam Lak Vai was also confused, wanting to take him to meet her parents. At first, she was worried her parents wouldn't agree to her, and Fo Tin Tam worried her parents felt Fo Tin Tam wasn't worthy of her. But that day Fo Tin Tam was exceptionally angry, throwing the biggest tantrum ever. She would never forget what Fo Tin Tam said that day. Tam Lak Vai, on what basis do you think I will marry you? On what basis do you think with my status, I would marry you? Until that day she understood. It turned out Fo Tin Tam always thought she wasn't worthy of him. She had never been placed in his heart. After that, Tam Lak Vai never mentioned taking Fo Tin Tam home again, only thinking of enjoying this love well and then ending it naturally. Fo Tin Tam was once the partner she chose for herself. Unfortunately, they ultimately had no destiny together. The bedroom became quiet. Fo Tin Tam also recalled the incident 3 years ago. That time he made a big fuss, leaving Shanghai in anger and only returning 7 months later. Thinking back now, he suddenly felt guilty. So he turned and walked to the edge of the bed and sat down.
Tam Lak Vai, marriage isn't a mandatory choice in life. Besides, aren't we good like this now? It's no different from being married. I know you crave marriage, but you must know, what I am giving you right now are things others can't have even after marriage.
Right, the number of green hats, cuckold horns he put on her right now was indeed something others couldn't have after marriage. Tam Lak Vai just looked at him like that, saying nothing. Fo Tin Tam took her left hand, his thumb rubbing the pink diamond ring on her hand.
Take this ring off. Wait until you come back from your hometown. I will give you a regular style one.
Fo Tin Tam didn't understand why he hated this ring so much, didn't want to see it. Just seeing it made him panic for no reason. He thought maybe it was because he was afraid of marrying Tam Lak Vai. After all, he hadn't played enough yet. Tam Lak Vai slowly withdrew her hand from Fo Tin Tam's. Sorry, I don't want to take it off. Perhaps she would never take it off in this life. Fo Tin Tam was rarely rejected by Tam Lak Vai, but recently it happened continuously, and his heart felt uneasy. At the same time, his phone rang with a message notification. On the lock screen was a message from Duong Yuyan. Her name, originally saved as Forgotten, had now been changed back to Duong Yuyan. Dan Trian, reading message. Tan Tam, do you remember our promise from back then? In this life, we must watch a meteor shower together once. This promise can be fulfilled tonight. Can you come to me? Fo Tin Tam quickly glanced at it and put the phone away, reaching out to rub Tam Lak Vai's head.
I have something to do outside. Go to sleep.
Finishing his sentence, he left without looking back. At this moment, Tam Lak Vai also lost sleep. She stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, just in time to see Fo Tin Tam drive away. Unable to sleep, she decisively turned on the TV. The host was reporting that the lurid meteor shower, occurring once in 1,000 years, would appear at 11:30 tonight. Legend has it that couples who watch the meteor shower together will be together for a lifetime. Tam Lak Vai had just seen the message on Fo Tin Tam's phone. So they wanted to be together for a lifetime, then hopefully, their wish would come true. Just then the phone rang. Picking it up, she saw a video call from Lam Nim, her best friend currently in Beijing. Lam Nim, I heard Cayenne ordered that Winston Pink legacy for you, right? Show me quickly. Tam Lak Vai raised her left hand to show Lam Nim. Lam Nim's so beautiful. A ring like this is worthy of your status as the young miss of the Tam family. By the way, does Fo Tin Tam know? Tam Lak Vai shook her head. Haven't told him yet. I plan to tell him on the day I leave. Lam Nim makes sense. Just wait until you leave to tell him. What if he finds out you are the heiress of the Tam family in Beijing and then pesters you? Tam Lak Vai laughed self-deprecatingly. He probably wouldn't do that. You don't know, a week ago when I went to get the ring, his face was so ugly. He even said this ring didn't suit me. Just now he even forced me to take it off, saying he would never marry me in this life. I'm just thinking if he knew this ring and this marriage were fundamentally not given by him, wonder what he would think. Lamneem, why is he like that? If he doesn't want to get married, why waste 7 years of your life? Tam Lakvi walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking up at the pitch-black night sky. Don't blame him. You know, these 7 years I was really too lonely. Fortunately, he kept me company. He and I can be considered mutually beneficial. He needs an obedient woman, wants a temporary home to forget Duong Yuyin. And I need someone by my side to not be lonely anymore. Lam Neem sighed, recalling what happened 7 years ago, and didn't advise Tam Lakvi further. Lam Neem, so are you sad now? Just okay. I can date him, but marriage has different standards. Don't look at me being with him for 7 years. If I really had to marry him, I truly wouldn't dare. 7 years with Fo Tan Tam, he flew everywhere. Tam Lakvi knew he had plenty of lovers outside. Tam Lakvi always turned a blind eye because she knew they were just dating. If married, it would be unacceptable. Lam Neem nodded in agreement. Lam Neem, in our circle, compatible status is fundamentally very important. Kai Yen, whom aunt and uncle chose, suits you better. The two chatted for a while longer before hanging up. Tam Lakvi stood on the balcony, the diamond on the ring sparkling brilliantly in the night. The next day, when Tam Lakvi was having breakfast, she received a strange message. *I am Duong Yuyin. Let's talk for a bit. Tam Lakvi wondered what Duong Yuyin wanted to talk about. After thinking for a moment, she agreed. She wanted to see what Duong Yuyin would say. Preparing to go out, she found out the driver wasn't home today, so she had to drive herself to the meeting. But she didn't want to drive any of the cars in the garage, didn't want to use Fo Tan Tam's things anymore. So she called the 4S dealership to bring over the Bugatti Cayenne gifted her. When Tam Lakvi arrived at the restaurant, Duong Yuyin also just got out of her car. Duong Yuyin saw Tam Lakvi stepping down from the Bugatti Type 87, a flash of surprise in her eyes. Duong Yuyin, Miss Tam, let's go inside to talk. Tam Lakvi stood still. Whatever it is, say it here. Duong Yuyin went straight to the point. Duong Yuyin, then I'll say it straight. There are some things Tan Tam finds inconvenient to say to you, so I can only be the bad guy. Tan Tam is a sentimental person. You've been with him for 7 years. Even raising a dog creates feelings. Asking him to suddenly chase you away, he can't bear it. You have no one in Shanghai. Leaving Tan Tam must be very difficult, right? Speaking of this, Duong Yuyin's gaze stopped on the Bugatti behind Tam Lakvi, her face full of sarcasm. Duong Yuyin, your salary isn't high either. Without Tan Tam, could you rent such an expensive car? A trace of impatience appeared between Tam Lakvi's eyebrows. What exactly do you want to say? Duong Yuyin continued. Duong Yuyin, tomorrow Tan Tam will fly the Verona route with me. Since Tam Lakvi was with Fo Tan Tam, although he was a captain flying all over the world, Verona was the only route he didn't fly. Colleagues said the Verona route was Fo Tan Tam's taboo. Duong Yuyin smiled and said, Duong Yuyin, do you know why Tan Tam didn't fly the Verona route before but is flying it now? Because it's our exclusive route, also our promise. In the center of Verona, there is a bronze statue of Juliet. Legend says just touching the statue brings blessings, helping lovers finally become husband and wife. Tan Tam promised me he would only fly this route with me. 7 years ago, he didn't fly this route because of me. Now he restarts this route also because of me. Tomorrow after Tan Tam flies to Verona with me, he and I will get back together. Tam Lakvi listened silently, then looked at her. You mean you are breaking up with me on Fo Tan Tam's behalf? Duong Yuyin shook her head. I want you to know your place and back off. Proactively leave Tan Tam. He won't marry you. Your status and his are fundamentally not on the same level. Tam Lakvi understood. You people and I are indeed not on the same level. Rest assured, I will fulfill the two of you's wish. Having finished speaking, Tam Lakvi drove away. Today's incident also made her understand that leaving Fo Tan Tam was the right thing to do. Returning to Dan Palace, Tam Lak Vai sat on the living room sofa, reviewing the wedding procedure sent by Cayenne. New message, just arrange it as you see fit. Cayenne quickly replied. Message, I will come to pick you up in 2 days. Marriage is a big matter. Wait until we meet, then you decide. Your wishes come first. New message, okay. It wasn't until late at night that Fo Tan Tam returned. After washing up, he changed into his white captain's uniform, dragging his suitcase for the flight, walking into the living room.
Tomorrow I have to fly to Verona. Take good care of yourself at home.
Tam Lak Vai didn't say anything more, only asked. So when will you be back? She had to leave Shanghai in 2 days. Before leaving, she also needed him to tell her. Fo Tan Tam's expression changed, his tone cold.
Did you forget again? I told you not to ask where I go, not to ask when I return, and even more so not to check on me.
Tam Lak Vai froze. She had indeed forgotten. It seemed when one no longer cared about someone, they would forget all of that person's habits and preferences. Fo Tan Tam left this time without a word for 2 days. 10 a.m. on the 25th, Cayenne arrived to pick up Tam Lak Vai on time. A row of Brabus G900s parked neatly in front of the Dan Palace gate. Cayenne got out of the car and walked up to Tam Lak Vai.
Have you finished packing everything?
Tam Lak Vai nodded. Yes.
All right. Just tell them what needs to be taken, then we will go.
Just as he finished speaking, several bodyguards in black stepped forward. Tam Lak Vai led the bodyguards to the dressing room on the 2nd floor of the villa, directing them to start moving the luggage. The housekeeper of Dan Palace saw this, his face full of surprise. Housekeeper Miss Tam, where are you going? Back to my hometown. Housekeeper. The housekeeper hesitated. Does the master know? Do I need to inform him? No need, he already knows. While talking, the bodyguards had already taken all the luggage. Tam Lak Vai stood at the door of the dressing room, looking at the gifts she had given Fo Tan Tam sitting in the corner, clothes, shoes, ties, etc. Most of them were designed by Italian designer Gabriele Bossi. Every item was a custom-made piece, extremely expensive and bearing special meaning. Unfortunately, Fo Tan Tam had never worn or used them even once. Some gift boxes hadn't even been opened. Tam Lak Vai didn't throw these gifts away, considering them the tuition fee for the 7 years of youth she spent on Fo Tan Tam. Tam Lak Vai withdrew her gaze, turned to go downstairs, and walked out of the villa. Cayenne walked over.
Is everything settled here?
Just one last thing left. Saying so, Tam Lak Vai pulled out her phone and sent a message to Fo Tan Tam. Then she blocked all of Fo Tan Tam's social media accounts and contact methods, turning to follow Cayenne towards the Rolls-Royce parked outside the gate. 3 days later, Fo Tan Tam finished the Verona flight. He stepped off the plane in a white shirt uniform and dark blue vest. Behind him was a team of flight attendants wearing unified uniforms. The group strode through the airport, creating a beautiful scene. Duong Yuyan, wearing a pale blue uniform, walked beside him. New Duong Yuyan Tan Tam, do you know? 3 days ago, I met Tam Lak Vai. That day she drove a Bugatti Type 87. Did you buy that for her?
No.
He knew that car was a global limited edition. Only one exists. Even he couldn't buy it. Duong Yuyan breathed a sigh of relief almost imperceptibly. New Duong Yuyan looks like she is truly vain, willing to spend money to rent such a supercar. Don't know how many days she can run it. However, at this moment, Fo Tan Tam completely ignored Duong Yuyan's words, only hearing the group of flight attendants behind chatting. New Flight Attendant 1 tour guide Tam Lak Vai of the travel department. Why did she resign? Last time a tourist caused trouble, and we couldn't find an interpreter. Fo Tan Tam's steps paused. He turned his head to look at that female flight attendant.
Who did you say resigned?
New Flight Attendant 1. Does Captain Fu not know? It's Tam Lak Vai. She is the most famous tour designer of Tan Hang, also the only tour guide who knows 10 languages. It's such a pity she quit. Fo Tan Tam stood frozen on the spot. Why did Tam Lak Vai resign without telling him? He continued to question.
Why did she suddenly resign?
New Flight Attendant 1 heard the head of the travel department say she went back to Beijing to get married. Seemed like she married a fellow townsman. Fo Tan Tam couldn't believe it, frowning as he took out his phone. After turning it on, he saw the message Tam Lak Vi sent him 3 days ago. New message, Fo Tan Tam. The feelings I had for you over the years don't need to be taken as real. I have returned home to marry the husband my parents chose. Fo Tan Tam, stunned, sent a message back to her. As soon as the message was sent, a bright red exclamation mark appeared behind it. The message was sent, but rejected by the recipient. Fo Tan Tam clenched his phone tightly, unwillingly pressing the voice call. The recipient hadn't added him as a friend. Voice call couldn't be made. Exiting the voice call, he clicked on Tam Lak Vi's profile picture, only to see her previous personal avatar had been replaced by a wedding photo of a man and a woman. Fo Tan Tam stood motionless, eyes glued to Tam Lak Vi's profile picture on the phone. Duong Yuan noticed his abnormality and stepped forward to ask. New, Duong Yuan Tan Tam, what's wrong? As soon as she finished speaking, her gaze glanced down and saw the photo on Fo Tan Tam's phone screen. After seeing clearly who was in the photo, Duong Yuan exclaimed in surprise. New, Duong Yuan, this is Tam Lak Vi? She got married? In the wedding photo, Tam Lak Vi nestled in Kai Yan's arms. The two had compatible appearances, looking incredibly perfect together. Fo Tan Tam's face became increasingly ugly, the temperature around him immediately dropping to freezing point. He coldly put away his phone, strode out of the airport, and drove back to Dan Palace. Arriving home, Fo Tan Tam angrily pushed open the villa door looking for the housekeeper.
Where's Tam Lak Vi?
Seeing Fo Tan Tam's gloomy face, the housekeeper took a deep breath and replied tremblingly. Nom, housekeeper Miss Tam left with a man 3 days ago. She said she was going back to her hometown and said the master already knew. Hearing this, Fo Tan Tam turned and went up to the bedroom on the 2nd floor. Seeing the suitcase in the corner was indeed gone, and Tam Lak Vi's belongings in the cloakroom had also completely disappeared. Fo Tan Tam stood at the door of the cloakroom, the bottom of his eyes tinged with a layer of anger. After a long time, he took out his phone and sent the wedding photo from Tam Lak Vi's avatar to his assistant, ordering an investigation into who the man in the photo was and the specific location of Tam Lak Vi's hometown. Nom, phone, book me a plane ticket to Beijing immediately. Send me the documents before I arrive in Beijing. Nom, assistant, yes. As the vice president and heir of Tan Vu Aviation, Fo Tan Tam naturally had an elite team of assistants under him. The assistant quickly sent the flight information to Fo Tan Tam's phone. Fo Tan Tam didn't have time to change clothes, leaving the villa and driving directly to the airport. He knew he was being impulsive but couldn't control his behavior. Deep down, his heart told him he must find Tam Lak Vi and bring her back, otherwise, he would regret it for the rest of his life. At the same time, Tam Lak Vi was sunbathing on a private island in sight. This island was bought by Kai Yan as a gift for Tam Lak Vi on the day they registered their marriage, and they were about to hold their wedding on this island. Her best friend Lam Neem lay on the beach chair next to her, exclaiming, New, Lam Neem, how is it? Did you find the feeling of 7 years ago again? Tam Lak Vi looked at the surging waves not far away, speaking slowly. Yeah, this kind of life suits me. I've suffered enough. From now on it will be all sweetness. New, Lam Neem, lucky you thought it through, accepting the blind date arranged by uncle and aunt. Otherwise, you would definitely be hurt even deeper by Fo Tan Tam. When mentioning Fo Tan Tam, Lam Neem's voice was full of dissatisfaction. Tam Lak Vi smiled slightly. All right, don't mention him anymore in the future. Everything is in the past. If Kai Yan hears it, he will misunderstand. Just as she finished speaking, the protagonist of the conversation walked over. Kai Yan, wearing a simple white t-shirt and black shorts, walked to the side of Tam Lak Vi's beach chair and sat down, smiling as he spoke. Nom, Kai Yan, what are you two talking about? Tam Lak Vi took off her sunglasses and looked at Kai Yan. Nothing. Are you done with your meeting? Nom, Kai Yan, almost everything is resolved. I will spend the remaining time preparing for the wedding and being with you. Hearing this, Lam Neem smiled at Tam Lak Vi, her eyes full of unconcealed curiosity, and coughed lightly. New Lam Ni Mahem, it's getting a bit cold. Lak Vi, I'm heading back first. Saying so, Lam Nim stood up and left, not forgetting to turn her head back to look at Tam Lak Vi one more time. Tam Lak Vi was stared at by Lam Nim until she felt shy, her earlobes turning a pale red. The total time she and Kai Yen had been together was less than half a month. They still didn't understand each other much, so facing him, she was still a bit awkward. After Lam Nim left, only Tam Lak Vi and Kai Yen remained on the vast beach. The two sat silently, the sound of seagulls crying and waves hitting the reefs in their ears, the atmosphere harmonious. Unknown how much time passed, Kai Yen turned his head to look at Tam Lak Vi. Nam, Kai Yen, shall we take a walk? I heard small fish can be caught in the shallow water area. Tam Lak Vi looked up, and under Kai Yen's gentle gaze, she nodded. Yes, let's walk together. Finishing their words, the two stood up and walked to the shallow water area not far away. On the other side, after Fo Ten Tam arrived at the airport, Duong Yuyin went straight to pick him up. She was still wearing the chief purser uniform, prepared in time for the next flight. Duong Yuyin blocked Fo Tan Tam and asked, New, Duong Yuyin Tan Tam, why is your face so ugly? I called you just now and you just walked away. What happened? At that time, Fo Ten Tam only thought about going home to find Tam Lak Vi, completely ignoring Duong Yuyin.
It's nothing. I have some matters to handle. I can't go with you on the next flight. You fly by yourself.
Duong Yuyin's heart trembled. She probed. New, Duong Yuyin, is it because of Tam Lak Vi? Fo Ten Tam's face sank, a trace of displeasure appearing between his brows. He hated others interfering in his private affairs. Even Duong Yuyin was no exception.
I'm in a hurry, leaving first.
He didn't answer Duong Yuyin's question, just said this sentence and walked past her straight towards the waiting room. Duong Yuyin stood still looking at Fo Ten Tam's back, her hands hanging by her sides gradually clenching tight, her eyes full of unwillingness. Fo Ten Tam entered the VIP lounge, took off his white uniform, and changed into the clothes just sent by his assistant. Sitting in the lounge, he called Tam Lak Vi again and again, switching to different social platforms to send her messages, but without exception, all were blocked. Fo Ten Tam took a deep breath, trying to suppress the frustration in his heart. He kept telling himself Tam Lak Vi wouldn't get married. She liked him so much she was willing to stay with him for 7 years without status. How could she marry someone else? Soon it was time to board. Fo Ten Tam sat in the first-class seat by the window, looking at the clouds outside, his eyes deep and unfathomable, unknown what he was thinking. 2 hours later, the plane landed in Beijing. Just as Fo Ten Tam got off the plane, he received a call from his assistant. Assistant, sorry, Vice President Fo, we couldn't find the specific location of Miss Tam's hometown, but we investigated the identity of the man in the photo. It's Kai Yen, the man in charge of the Kai family in Beijing. Kai Yen. Fo Ten Tam had heard family members mention this name. Taking the position of power in the Kai family at a young age showed his methods were not ordinary. His parents had warned him, telling him he could play around outside however he wanted, but absolutely not to provoke Kai Yen, otherwise no one could protect him. How did Tam Lak Vi get involved with Kai Yen? The assistant on the other end of the line, perhaps seeing Fo Ten Tam silent for a long time, asked. Assistant Vice President Fo?
Go on.
Assistant, we investigated that Kai Yen will hold a wedding recently. The marriage partner is Tam Lak Vi. The location is site.
When?
Assistant, on the 30th, which is the day after tomorrow. Fo Ten Tam took another deep breath.
Book a ticket to site.
Hanging up the phone, Fo Ten Tam returned to the airport preparing to fly to site. Since finishing the Verona flight and hearing the news of Tam Lak Vi's marriage, he still hadn't rested. Currently, his mind was confused and couldn't stop to think carefully. Arriving in Beijing, flying to site, it all seemed to be his instinctive reaction. Clearly, Tan Tam didn't care about Tam Lak Vi in his heart, but why, when hearing news of her marriage, did his heart ache in bursts, even causing him to do such impulsive actions? By the time he came back to his senses, he was already on the flight. One day before the wedding, Tam Lakvi started to feel a bit unreal. She was really married. Although Kai Yan treated her very well, Tam Lakvi still felt a hint of unease in her heart. Lam Nim saw her unease, stepped forward to put an arm around her shoulder to comfort her. "Nu, Lam Nim, don't worry. According to my observation, Kai Yan is truly very good, gentle, and thoughtful. I heard he participated in the entire wedding planning process, specifically researched your preferences, hired a plane to transport Juliet roses to decorate the wedding hall, saying he wanted to give you all the best things. Although he has a cold and unapproachable face, every time he looks at you, his eyes are especially gentle. Even if he doesn't love you later, at least in front of outsiders, he won't make you lose face. Most importantly, he is very generous." Saying so, Lam Nim raised Tam Lakvi's hand, pointing to the pink diamond on it. "Nu, Lam Nim, although you can afford these things, the nature is different. At least Kai Yan is willing to spend money on you. Moreover, even if you divorce later, you can share half of his assets. Calculate it however you want, it's not a loss." Lam Nim spoke very practically. Their class mostly consisted of commercial marriages without feelings, all for benefits. 7 years ago, Tam Lakvi left Beijing, going alone to Shanghai precisely because she didn't want to accept this arrangement. At that time, she had a huge argument with her family, angrily running away from home. Even when her family locked her cards, she didn't return. Relying on her own ability, she found a job and also found a boyfriend, Captain Fu Jin Shen. She once thought she found true love, could live a lifetime with Fu Jin Shen, needing not to endure the family's arrangement for a commercial marriage. But reality dealt her a heavy blow. Fu Jin Shen fundamentally didn't love her, nor ever thought of marrying her. 7 years passed, she was tired, and also clearly recognized reality, finally compromising with her parents to accept the joint marriage. She was the only daughter in the family. Her parents naturally spoiled her very much. The marriage partner chosen for her was naturally not bad. Sure enough, her parents' eyes were not wrong. Kai Yan was indeed a very good marriage partner. Thoughts returning, Tam Lakvi's gaze fell on the diamond ring on her ring finger. Indeed, Kai Yan was a not bad marriage partner. Lam Nim saw this and smiled knowingly. "Nu, Lam Nim, let's go. Lead me to see your wedding dress. Heard it was designed by 10 designers in Milan together, super luxurious. Let me see it first." Finishing her words, Lam Nim pulled Tam Lakvi towards the dressing room. The long-tailed princess-style wedding dress with a boat neck and off-shoulder design was fully embellished with sparkling diamonds, extremely brilliant. "Nu, Lam Nim Lakvi, you will definitely be stunningly beautiful tomorrow." Tam Lakvi looked at the wedding dress, a secret expectation for tomorrow's wedding rising in her heart. The next day, wedding day. Tam Lakvi got up early to put on makeup, preparing to welcome the most important moment of her life. At the same time, Fu Jin Shen arrived in sight. Based on the assistant's information, he boarded a boat to go to the island where Tam Lakvi was holding the wedding. The sea breeze brushed his face. In the deep blue seawater, schools of fish could be seen swimming past. But right now, Fu Jin Shen had absolutely no mood to enjoy the beautiful scenery. He only wanted to quickly reach the island to stop Tam Lakvi's wedding. Soon the ship docked at the island. This island had been bought by Kai Yan and was currently a private area. As soon as Fu Jin Shen entered the island, he was blocked by bodyguards. "Nom, bodyguard, sorry sir, this is a private island not open to outsiders. Please return." Fu Jin Shen frowned tightly, his tone impatient.
"I want to see Kai Yan."
The bodyguard was about to refuse when he heard Assistant Hua's voice beside Kai Yan coming from the earpiece. "Nom." Assistant Hua let him in, lead him to Villa number 3. Hearing this, the bodyguard stepped forward and said to Fu Jin Shen, "Nom, bodyguard, please follow me." Fu Jin Shen followed the bodyguard onto the island. Kai Yan sat in the study looking at Fu Jin Shen's figure on the island's surveillance screen, saying to Assistant Hua, "Nom, Kai Yan, I don't want any incidents to happen at the wedding." "Nom." Assistant Hua, yes, President Kai, understood. Saying so, Assistant Hua walked out of the study, heading towards Villa number 3. After the bodyguard brought Fu Tam to the villa, they retreated outside to guard the door. In the huge villa, there was only Fu Tam alone. He stood in the villa living room frowning tightly.
Where's Cayenne?
Just as Fu Tam finished speaking, Assistant Hua walked in. Nam, Assistant Hua. Hello Vice President Fu, I am President Kai's assistant. President Kai specially instructed me to treat you well. You must have traveled for a long time, surely haven't rested, right? Please follow me, the room is on the second floor.
Don't beat around the bush. Where's Cayenne? I want to see him. And Tam Lak Vi, where is she?
Nam, Assistant Hua, today is the wedding day of President Kai and the madam. Naturally, the two are at the wedding hall. Saying so, Assistant Hua turned on the huge TV in the villa living room. The screen clearly showed the scene of the wedding hall. The hall was covered with Juliet roses, lilies of the valley, and white silk screens on the flower arch gently swaying in the sea breeze. Only relatives and friends of the two were present at the scene. The Kai family and Tam family members sat together chatting. The ceremony started quickly. Accompanied by melodious violin and gentle piano tunes, Tam Lak Vi, wearing a wedding dress, walked out slowly. Cayenne, in a hand-tailored Schiaparelli suit, walked to Tam Lak Vi's side, holding her hand and walking onto the crystal water stage together. The sea breeze blew gently, sunlight flooded the stage, reflecting the two figures. The reflections slowly approached, finally stopping at the center of the stage. Under the witness of the pastor, the two read marriage vows and exchanged wedding rings. Finally, amidst the blessings of relatives and friends, Cayenne slowly lifted Tam Lak Vi's veil, gently kissing her forehead. Fu Tam saw this scene through the TV screen, the air pressure around him getting lower and lower, the corners of his eyes red. As soon as the wedding started, he planned to rush out of the villa to go straight to the wedding hall. But 8 guards at the door blocked him. He couldn't get out at all, only able to watch helplessly as Tam Lak Vi married Cayenne. Seeing the final scene of Cayenne gently kissing Tam Lak Vi, Fu Tam couldn't stand still anymore. He punched down the lead guard and rushed out. 2 fists couldn't match 4 hands, let alone there were more than 4 hands here. Fu Tam was held down by the guards. Assistant Hua walked up to him and spoke. Nam, Assistant Hua. Vice President Fu, President Kai instructed that you should rest well. Wait until the wedding ends, he will come to see you. Fu Tam was blocked by guards unable to move. No matter how dissatisfied, he had to temporarily compromise. He came in a hurry without bringing an assistant, completely in a passive position. Fu Tam glanced coldly at Assistant Hua, shook off the guard's hands, and slowly walked back to the living room. The wedding had ended, and the TV went black accordingly. Fu Tam sat on the leather sofa, looking at the clear sky outside the floor-to-ceiling window, his eyes pitch black. After the formal wedding rituals ended, Tam Lak Vi changed out of the heavy wedding dress, put on an evening gown, and went with Cayenne to entertain relatives and friends. Tam Lak Vi took Cayenne's arm and walked up to her parents, a hint of shyness in her eyes. Mom and Dad, for 7 years she didn't go home often, nor contacted her parents much. Meeting again now inevitably felt a bit distant. No one understands a daughter like her mother. Mother Tam knew Tam Lak Vi's thoughts at a glance. Mother Tam stepped forward, reaching out to gently stroke Tam Lak Vi's cheek, speaking gently. New, Mother Tam, my daughter is truly very beautiful. Hearing this, Tam Lak Vi's eye sockets immediately became wet, the corners of her eyes turning red, her throat choked, unable to speak. Just this one sentence completely broke the barrier hidden for 7 years in Tam Lak Vi's heart. Tam Lak Vi only felt her throat stinging, stepping forward to hug her mother, her voice carrying a tone of spoiling. Of course, I am Mom's daughter after all. The love of parents for children is a long-term worry. No one was wrong about that year's events, just each person stood from a different perspective leading to conflict. Mother Tam often admonished her daughter, asking not of the past, but looking to the future. Seeing Cayenne treat Tam Lak Vi so thoughtfully now, she and Father Tam felt assured. Mother Tam hugged Tam Lak Vi and patted her shoulder gently. New, Mother Tam, all right. Hurry, go with little Yen to receive guests, dear. Hearing this, Tam Lak Vi let go of her mother, tears still glistening in the corners of her eyes. Father Tam reached out to gently wipe away those tears for her. Nam, Father Tam, an adult yet still crying. When saying this, Father Tam looked at Tam Lak Vi with satisfied and doting eyes. Tam Lak Vi smiled with embarrassment. Kai Yen patted her arm which was holding his, looking up at the two. Nam, Kai Yen parents, please rest assured, I will take good care of Tam Lak Vi. The two nodded with satisfaction. The four chatted for a while longer, then Kai Yen took Tam Lak Vi to meet his parents. Tam Lak Vi obediently called out Mom and Dad. Mother Kai smiled and nodded, then took off the jade bracelet on her hand, pulled Tam Lak Vi's hand, and put it on her. New, Mother Kai, this is the heirloom jade bracelet of the Kai family passed down to the daughter-in-law. Now passing it to you. People of the Kai family absolutely do not suffer grievances outside. If anything happens, just tell little Yen. Tell him to stand up and protect you. The heavy jade bracelet on her wrist was the Kai family's recognition of Tam Lak Vi. Tam Lak Vi also didn't stand on ceremony, responding generously. Yes, thank you, Mom. Father Kai simply instructed Kai Yen with a few sentences, telling him to treat Tam Lak Vi well, then hurriedly left. Mother Kai didn't mind his departure at all. She led Tam Lak Vi and Kai Yen to greet the rest of the Kai family. Tam Lak Vi had heard Lam Nim mention that Kai Yen's parents married for commercial benefits. After marriage there was no affection, and after giving birth to Kai Yen, the two started going their separate ways. In this circle, most couples married for business purposes were like this, and no one felt anything was wrong. Interests are forever placed above feelings. It wasn't until the afternoon that the wedding was considered completely over. Tam Lak Vi held Kai Yen's arm, unconsciously leaning on him, a look of fatigue flashing between her brows. After all relatives and friends left, Kai Yen turned to say to Tam Lak Vi, Nam, Kai Yen, you worked hard today. Let the secretary take you back to rest. I still have some matters to handle. I'll be back with you after finishing. Okay, you go to your work. Then she followed the secretary back to the bridal room. After Tam Lak Vi's figure completely disappeared, Kai Yen turned to walk towards Villa number 3. Fo Ten Tam had contacted his assistant, telling him to send someone to the island to pick him up. Just when his patience was about to run out, the villa door was pushed open, and Kai Yen walked in against the light. Kai Yen's whole body radiated the aura of a superior, something an heir who grew up in luxury with smooth sailing like Fo Ten Tam did not have. Fo Ten Tam's gaze at Kai Yen had no warmth, even carrying a hint of hostility. Kai Yen walked into the living room, sitting down opposite Fo Ten Tam. Nam, Kai Yen, Vice President Fo didn't mind the long distance to come here. Is there something wrong?
Here to find my runaway girlfriend, Tam Lak Vi.
Nam, Kai Yen, there is indeed a person named Tam Lak Vi here, but she is my wife, not your girlfriend. Fo Ten Tam's voice unconsciously rose.
Kai Yen, don't pretend to be stupid. Tam Lak Vi and I haven't broken up. She is still my girlfriend. I want to see her.
The corners of Kai Yen's lips curved into a sarcastic smile. Nam, Kai Yen, you keep opening your mouth saying Tam Lak Vi is your girlfriend, but as far as I know, you two never made it public to the outside.
So what? We have been together for 7 years. What do you count as?
Hearing this, Kai Yen maintained a normal expression, only his eyes added a few degrees of coldness. Nam, Kai Yen, I don't care about Tam Lak Vi's past, but her future can only have me alone. Fo Ten Tam was shocked by Kai Yen's aura, momentarily stunned. Dizzied by anger, he had forgotten that Kai Yen was not a character he could easily provoke. Those who opposed Kai Yen didn't have good endings. Fo Ten Tam came back to his senses, taking a deep breath to suppress the anger in his heart, slowly opening his mouth.
Just meeting once. I have something to ask her.
Seeing Fo Ten Tam suddenly change his attitude, Kai Yen's emotions also softened. Nam, Kai Yen, since Vice President Fo put it that way, I have no reason to refuse. If she agrees to see you, I absolutely won't stop it. If she doesn't agree, then I can't help it either. Finishing his words, Kai Yen stood up intending to leave. Fo Ten Tam called him back.
I want to see her right now.
Cayenne Vice President Fo wouldn't say he doesn't know what day today is, right? Don't push your luck. Saying so, Cayenne left the villa without turning back. Fo Tam watched Cayenne's back, the fire of anger in his eyes almost turning substantial, but unable to do anything. Cayenne left Villa number 3, returning to his and Tam Lac Vai's bridal room. After Tam Lac Vai returned from the wedding, she ate a little simply and went to sleep. When Cayenne returned, she hadn't woken up yet. Gently closing the room door, Cayenne turned to instruct the housekeeper to prepare some food, wait for the madam to wake up then bring it up. The housekeeper nodded in response. Cayenne turned to another room to wash up and change clothes. When Tam Lac Vai woke up, it was already 8 p.m. The small lamp at the head of the bed turned on, emitting warm yellow light. Tam Lac Vai looked at the time on her phone and exclaimed softly, "Why did I sleep so long?" On the phone appeared a message Cayenne sent 3 hours ago. Message, the housekeeper has prepared dinner. When you wake up, come out to eat something to line your stomach. Seeing this, a warm stream suddenly surged in Tam Lac Vai's heart. Putting down the phone, Tam Lac Vai got out of bed preparing to go downstairs to eat. Just pushing open the bedroom door, she saw Cayenne sitting on the sofa in the bedroom's living area working. Cayenne had changed into home clothes, wearing rimless glasses, sitting on the sofa working. Tam Lac Vai, seeing this, lightened her steps and slowed down, fearing to disturb him. Cayenne saw her walk out, put down the laptop, took off his glasses and said, Cayenne, don't go down. I told the housekeeper to bring dinner up here." Hearing this, Tam Lac Vai nodded, stopped, went to the living area and sat down on the single sofa. Cayenne looked at the distance between the two and laughed softly. Cayenne, why sit so far from me? Do I eat people?" Tam Lac Vai didn't expect Cayenne to be so direct, momentarily a bit flustered. "No, I was just..." Cayenne curled his lips in a smile, timely interrupting her flustered explanation. Cayenne, all right, I'm just teasing you. Fo Tam is on the island saying he wants to see you, has something to say to you. Do you want to see him?" Tam Lac Vai was stunned, not expecting Fo Tam to chase her here. Thinking for a moment, she shook her head. "Not seeing him. He and I have already broken up, nothing to say." Cayenne, okay, then tomorrow I will have him leave." As soon as Cayenne finished speaking, the housekeeper pushed the food cart, knocking on the door to enter. Chinese food, Western food, all kinds. Tam Lac Vai once again exclaimed in her heart at Cayenne's thoughtfulness. The two ate and chatted. After dinner, the two returned to the bedroom. Tam Lac Vai had just slept for a few hours, completely not sleepy right now. She leaned against the headboard reading a magazine. Cayenne finished showering and walked out of the bathroom towards her, warm steam still lingering around him. Tam Lac Vai watched Cayenne slowly approaching, her heart beating faster and faster, unable to read a single word on the magazine. Cayenne lifted the blanket, getting into bed, leaning next to her, speaking softly. Cayenne, wife, is this magazine that attractive?" Cayenne leaned very close when speaking, warm breath blowing onto the skin of Tam Lac Vai's neck. Tam Lac Vai trembled inside, cheeks slightly flushed. "It's okay. Cayenne, but tonight is our wedding night. Are you sure you want the magazine to keep you company?" Cayenne's deep voice entered Tam Lac Vai's ears like the whisper of a demon. Both being adults, she naturally understood what Cayenne meant. Tam Lac Vai wasn't a vegetarian either. Since Cayenne had spoken so clearly, she naturally couldn't continue pretending to be naive. She put down the magazine, turned to face Cayenne's deep eyes, reached out to cup his face and spoke. "Wedding night naturally cannot be perfunctory." Finishing her words, Tam Lac Vai took the initiative to kiss Cayenne's lips. Although Tam Lac Vai's action was bold, her flushed ears had long betrayed her. Cayenne curled his lips in a smile, reached out to hold the back of her neck, becoming active to press her under him. Cayenne definitely will give you an unforgettable wedding night for a lifetime." The night was long and deep, lights burning bright. The water glass placed at the head of the bed vibrated with ripples continuously all night. The next day, when Tam Lac Vai woke up, she only felt her whole body aching and falling apart, like being run over by a truck, unable to lift any strength. Just moving slightly, her lower waist was pulled taut and painful. Just then Cayenne brought breakfast, pushing the door to enter. Unlike Tam Lak Vai's exhausted look, Cayenne looked very refreshed. Tam Lak Vai's eyes looked at Cayenne full of reproach. Cayenne placed breakfast at the head of the bed, then sat down beside her, speaking gently. Cayenne, sorry, I didn't control my strength well. Won't happen next time. Hearing this, Tam Lak Vai's face immediately turned red. Not allowed to speak anymore. Cayenne, okay. Not speaking anymore. Eat breakfast. Need me to feed you? No need, I can do it myself. While speaking, Tam Lak Vai propped her hands to sit up. The movement too strong affected her sore lower waist again. Ouch! Seeing this, Cayenne reached out to slowly help her up, then held the bowl, preparing to feed her. Tam Lak Vai took the bowl from Cayenne's hand. I can eat by myself. Cayenne didn't force it either. Cayenne, okay. Rest well today. Tomorrow we will depart for Tahiti, taking you on the honeymoon. Will it affect your work? Cayenne, it won't. I've handled everything properly. We have enough time. Wherever you want to go is fine. You rest well. I have one last thing to deal with. I'll go and come back right away. Finishing his words, Cayenne turned and left the bedroom. Just as he went downstairs, Assistant Hua greeted him. Assistant Hua, President Kai, Vice President Fo is making a scene, demanding to see the madam. Cayenne, ignore him. Later send someone to take him away. Assistant Hua, yes. Assistant Hua answered, then turned to walk to Villa number 3. Fo Ten Tam heard Assistant Hua finish speaking, his face extremely ugly. He said to Cayenne,
I won't leave without seeing Tam Lak Vai.
Assistant Hua, Vice President Fo, the boat taking you away is already waiting at the dock. Please follow me. Assistant Hua's serious working attitude made the fire of anger in Fo Ten Tam's heart flare up even stronger. Just then his phone popped up a message. Assistant has arrived at the island. The boat is docked at the pier. Fo Ten Tam put away his phone, saying to Assistant Hua,
My people have arrived. No need to trouble President Kai.
Saying so, he stood up, walking out of the villa. Naturally, he couldn't just leave like this. Fo Ten Tam just wanted to delay time, finding an opportunity to see Tam Lak Vai. This seemed to have become his obsession. No matter what, he had to see Tam Lak Vai. Perhaps the heavens favored Fo Ten Tam. Not long after leaving the villa, he saw Tam Lak Vai. After breakfast, Tam Lak Vai recovered a bit of physical strength. Thinking of Cayenne saying he wanted to go on a honeymoon, she decided to find her best friend Lam Neem to discuss suitable locations together. Unexpectedly, she had only gone halfway when she heard Fo Ten Tam's familiar voice.
Tam Lak Vai?
Tam Lak Vai's steps paused. She instinctively turned her head to look, only to see Fo Ten Tam striding towards her. Assistant Hua, seeing this, hurriedly called security to stop him. Before the security could get close, Fo Ten Tam had arrived in front of Tam Lak Vai. Assistant Hua said to Tam Lak Vai apologetically, Assistant Hua, sorry madam. It's my negligence. I will take Vice President Fo away immediately. No need, you guys go back. Since we've met, there's no need to block anymore. Tam Lak Vai was also very curious what exactly Fo Ten Tam traveled a long way chasing here to say. Assistant Hua nodded in response, then led the security away. After they left, Fo Ten Tam could finally look at Tam Lak Vai. Just about to speak, his eyes noticed the red marks on Tam Lak Vai's neck and collarbone. Those marks stabbed sharply into Fo Ten Tam's eyes. His heart suddenly tightened, as if something had been completely lost. Seeing Fo Ten Tam standing still without speaking, Tam Lak Vai frowned. Following his gaze to see the marks exposed outside, Tam Lak Vai kept a straight face, pulling her outer coat to cover the red marks, speaking coldly. Fo Ten Tam, what exactly do you want to say? Hearing this, Fo Ten Tam came back to his senses, looking up to restore his cold expression as before. Only the slightly red corners of his eyes betrayed the emotions he was trying to hide. Fo Ten Tam suppressed the sharp pain from his chest, slowly opening his mouth.
Tam Lak Vai, whether it's true or false, as long as you come back with me, I can treat the events of these past few days as never having happened. Didn't you want to marry me? Go back with me now. We will register for marriage immediately. I will organize an even more luxurious wedding for you, letting everyone know you are the wife of this Fo Tan Tam.
Tam Lak Vai laughed softly. Fo Tan Tam, the message I sent you already stated very clearly. We broke up, and I am already married. Moreover, my husband treats me very well. I also don't want to organize another wedding. Do you understand? Hearing Tam Lak Vai's words, the pain in Fo Tan Tam's heart immediately spread, the bottom of his eyes full of unwillingness. He tried to search for signs of lying on Tam Lak Vai's face, but there was nothing. Tam Lak Vai stood still, her gaze firm, allowing him to evaluate. Being with Tam Lak Vai for 7 years, Fo Tan Tam had never seen her like this. A man's self-esteem didn't allow him to continue pestering. So Fo Tan Tam withdrew his gaze, putting on an attitude of indifference.
Since it's like this, then as you wish. Hope you won't regret it.
Finishing his words, Fo Tan Tam turned and walked away. Tam Lak Vai indifferently glanced at the direction Fo Tan Tam left, then withdrew her gaze, continuing to walk forward. Fo Tan Tam walked to the pier. The assistant was already waiting. Assistant Vice President Fo, shall we depart now?
Let's go.
Saying so, Fo Tan Tam stepped onto the deck, boarding the boat to leave without looking back. Fo Tan Tam stood at the bow of the boat watching the island gradually shrink, his heart sinking. Tam Lak Vai's words repeated over and over in his head. The red marks on her neck also kept lingering before his eyes. Various emotions surged in his heart. Fo Tan Tam put his hand on his heart, telling himself,
Clearly I don't love her, but why does my heart hurt so much?
The boat went further and further, the island turning from a black dot finally disappearing. The humid, salty sea breeze blew on him, but Fo Tan Tam felt extremely comfortable, letting the sea breeze brush past his face, blowing away the bitterness in his heart. Just as he docked and got off the boat, Fo Tan Tam received a call from Duong Yuyan. Duong Yuyan asked worriedly, Duong Yuyan Tan Tam, why did it take so long to answer? Where did you go? Hearing Duong Yuyan's concerned words, Fo Tan Tam felt he had returned to reality. The feeling of failure he endured at Tam Lak Vai's place immediately vanished.
Don't worry, I'll be back right away.
While saying this, Fo Tan Tam kept telling himself in his heart that the person he loved was Duong Yuyan. Going to find Tam Lak Vai was just because he couldn't accept her deceiving him, simply just that. Duong Yuyan heard this and didn't ask further. Duong Yuyan, when will you be back? I'll go to the airport to pick you up.
No need. I told the housekeeper to take you to Dan Palace. Just wait for me at home.
For a long time, Dan Palace had only one woman living there, which was Tam Lak Vai. Now that she was gone, Dan Palace naturally had to welcome a new mistress. Duong Yuyan on the other end of the line heard Fo Tan Tam say this, obviously stunned. Before, she had hinted countless times wanting to move into Dan Palace, but Fo Tan Tam either changed the subject or told her to wait more. That made her very insecure, always worried whether Fo Tan Tam truly loved Tam Lak Vai or not. Now seeing this, it seemed she was still the winner in the end. Duong Yuyan came back to her senses, immediately responding, Duong Yuyan, okay, I'll wait for you at home. Hanging up the phone, Fo Tan Tam and assistant Hua boarded the flight back to the country. Sitting on the plane looking out the window at the cloud layer, Fo Tan Tam still felt a sense of unreality, recalling the things he did the past few days, still finding it extremely absurd. Unexpectedly, he ran to such a distant place for Tam Lak Vai. 7 years with Tam Lak Vai was also like a dream. Even the memories of Tam Lak Vai in his head seemed to be wiped clean instantly, unable to remember anything. His mind was like a ball of tangled thread, unable to be untangled. Since he couldn't remember, he decisively stopped thinking. Fo Tan Tam closed his eyes, starting to sleep. The nerve tense for the past few days finally relaxed at this moment. After Tam Lak Vai and Lam Neem discussed a few suitable destinations for the honeymoon, she took the iPad to find Cayenne. At this moment, Cayenne was sitting on the villa terrace reading a book. Messy bangs were blown by the light wind, revealing an exquisite profile, mature yet not lacking the aura of a youth. Tam Lak Vai looked at this scene, her heart seemingly missing a beat, the flutter of maidenhood rising in her heart after many years. At this time, Cayenne also discovered Tam Lak Vai standing at the door. Seeing her staring at him, he opened his mouth to ask, "Nom, Cayenne, why don't you come in?" Tam Lak Vai caught peeking, only felt embarrassed. She calmed herself walking up to Cayenne, handing the tablet in her hand to him. "I think these places are also very suitable for a honeymoon. What do you think?" Cayenne took the tablet, flipping through each page of the travel plan Tam Lak Vai and Lam Neem made together. Milan, Slovenia, Estonia. Nom, Cayenne, okay, as long as you like it. The marriage registration and wedding were both too rushed, preventing you from having a sense of participation, so I can only compensate you with the honeymoon. Tam Lak Vai met Cayenne's sincere eyes. Her ears suddenly turned red. People say travel is the best way to test feelings. Throughout this trip, whether personality or hobbies, she and Tam Lak Vai matched unexpectedly. Their feelings also gradually sublimated from the initial unfamiliar distance to now rich and sweet, just like a couple in love. Cayenne held Tam Lak Vai's hand tightly, eyes gleaming with a smile. "Nom, Cayenne, okay, I look forward to it." Just as his words fell, Tam Lak Vai heard a familiar female voice coming from the side. "New, Duong Yuyan, hello, I am the chief purser of this flight. I will serve you two throughout the upcoming journey. May I ask if you choose Chinese or Western style for breakfast?" "If Chinese style we have." But she stopped halfway through her sentence. Tam Lak Vai looked up just in time to meet Duong Yuyan's surprised eyes. Today the flight attendant serving first class was busy unexpectedly. Duong Yuyan had to substitute, but she didn't expect to run into Tam Lak Vai. She really wanted to ask Tam Lak Vai why she was here, but currently she was working. Professional ethics didn't allow her to act like that. Duong Yuyan, the first love whom Fo Tan Tam cheated with to break up, regained her composure, continuing to introduce the in-flight meal to Cayenne and Tam Lak Vai. Hearing Duong Yuyan finish introducing the dishes, Cayenne turned to look at Tam Lak Vai. "Nom, Cayenne, which type do you want to eat?" "Chinese style." "Nom, Cayenne, 2 Chinese style portions," Cayenne said to Duong Yuyan. Duong Yuyan smiled and nodded. "New, Duong Yuyan, yes, if you need any other service, please call me anytime. I ask permission not to disturb you two anymore." Finishing her words, Duong Yuyan turned to leave. If Duong Yuyan served this flight, then the captain must be Fo Tan Tam. Thinking of this, Tam Lak Vai only felt annoyed. The world is indeed too small. There are so many flights, yet why does she keep meeting exactly the 2 people she wants to see least? Seeing Tam Lak Vai sad, Cayenne reached out to hug her into his arms. "Nom, Cayenne, what's wrong? Too tired last night?" Hearing this, Tam Lak Vai glared lovingly at Cayenne, then reached out to hit him. Would outsiders know the famous President Kai is so indecent in private? Cayenne held her hand and kissed it lightly. "Nom, Cayenne, others don't need to know. Just you knowing is enough." Tam Lak Vai's ears turned slightly red. She didn't look at Cayenne anymore, burying herself in his arms, finding a comfortable position to lie down. Cayenne conveniently wrapped his arms around Tam Lak Vai, the ebony scent on his body immediately enveloping her. Tam Lak Vai gradually relaxed, not knowing when she fell asleep. When she woke up, the plane was about 1 hour away from Beijing. She ate a little lightly to line her stomach, then started waiting for the plane to land. 1 hour later, the plane landed in Beijing. After getting off the plane, Cayenne and Tam Lak Vai went straight out through the VIP passage. At the same time, Fo Tan Tam's group stepped off the plane, preparing to go to the hotel to rest. Fo Tan Tam in white uniform walked in front, Duong Yuyan walking close beside him. Just then, Fo Tan Tam saw Tam Lak Vai and Cayenne preparing to get in the car to leave. Without time to think much, he lifted his feet, wanting to chase. But just as he moved his wrist, he was pulled back by Duong Yuyan. "New, Duong Yuyan Tan Tam, this is the airport." Hearing this, Fo Tan Tam paused, immediately regaining reason. When he looked again, the 2 were gone. He also didn't understand what happened to him just now. The moment seeing Tam Lak Vai, he couldn't restrain wanting to get closer. Fo Tan Tam withdrew his gaze, calming down, and continued walking. The flight attendant group went to the hotel to rest together, while Fo Tan Tam took Duong Yuyan to his residence in Beijing, Shishan Meilu. Ending this flight, Fo Tan Tam wouldn't perform any more flight missions this year. As the heir of Tan Vu Aviation, he had always been unwilling to take over the company. The reason was same as marriage. Fo Ten Tam felt he was still young, wanting to play a few more years. But since Tam Lak Vai left, he suddenly felt he had played enough, no longer interested in anything. Plus the family urging, he conveniently ended the flight duty, preparing to take over the company. Coming to Beijing this time was to attend a charity auction. Duong Yuyan would be his companion, both attending together. Arriving at Shishan Meilu, the villa housekeeper led a group of servants out to welcome. After handing luggage to the servants, Fo Ten Tam went upstairs to wash up and rest. This was the first time Duong Yuyan came to this villa. The housekeeper led her to get familiar with the surrounding environment. On the other side, after Kai Yan and Tam Lak Vai exited the airport, the driver drove both back to the bridal home, Villa number 11 Summer Palace. Arriving home, the housekeeper came out to welcome. Kai Yan went upstairs to change clothes, then prepared to go out. Tam Lak Vai, seeing this, asked, "Aren't you going to rest a bit?" Kai Yan explained, "Nom, Kai Yan, I have an urgent meeting to attend. You rest well. In 3 days there is a charity auction. Later a designer will come help you choose a gown. I'm going first." Finishing his words, Kai Yan kissed lightly on the corner of Tam Lak Vai's lips, then left with the assistant. Tam Lak Vai was used to Kai Yan occasionally kissing and hugging her. The two were husband and wife, such actions were normal. Moreover, Tam Lak Vai didn't reject Kai Yan's intimacy at all. She really liked this feeling of being valued by someone. The designer and stylist arrived at the living room together, displaying gowns from various brands. The stylist, based on Tam Lak Vai's preferences and figure, chose a wine-red satin strapless evening gown. Combined with a teardrop diamond necklace and diamond ring from Cartier, both increasing aura and keeping her unique features. Tam Lak Vai was very satisfied with this outfit. She chose another suit for Kai Yan tone surtone with her dress. She really liked the red accent on the classic lapel suit. It perfectly matched her gown. Finished choosing the gown, Tam Lak Vai told the housekeeper to prepare a car. She intended to go home to visit her parents. The Tam family was located in a courtyard house near the Forbidden City. The layout inside the house remained as before. Tam parents knew their daughter was coming back, so they went home early to prepare a table full of food. Tam Lak Vai had dinner at home. Kai Yan got off work, coming to the Tam house to pick her up. The two returned home together. Although married, everything remained unchanged. Tam Lak Vai was very satisfied with her current life. Time passed quickly until the day of the auction. After Kai Yan and Tam Lak Vai changed into gowns, they departed for the hotel holding the charity auction. At the same time, Fo Ten Tam and Duong Yuyan also set off for the auction. 2 cars arrived at the hotel at the same time. After getting out of the car, the gazes of 4 people met in midair. Fo Ten Tam and Duong Yuyan were amazed and surprised when seeing Tam Lak Vai. Tam Lak Vai maintained a calm face, not even glancing at the two. She held Kai Yan's arm walking into the hotel. Fo Ten Tam saw Tam Lak Vai, his heart tightened, his throat also choked with bitterness. After Duong Yuyan saw Tam Lak Vai, unknown why an unease suddenly surged in her heart. Especially when seeing Fo Ten Tam staring at Tam Lak Vai's back, that unease in her heart multiplied. "New, Duong Yuyan Tan Tam, let's go in." Duong Yuyan pulled Fo Ten Tam's sleeve, trying to bring his attention back. Fo Ten Tam recovered, nodding.
Okay.
Tam Lak Vai and Kai Yan sat in the first row. Fo Ten Tam and Duong Yuyan's position was in the middle. Not far away, Fo Ten Tam could see clearly every action of Tam Lak Vai. After everyone settled in their seats, the auction officially began. The auctioneer stepped onto the stage, starting to introduce the auction items. Kai Yan turned to Tam Lak Vai saying, "Nom, Kai Yan, if you like anything, just bid for it." "Yes." Tam Lak Vai nodded in response. Before coming, she had aimed for an emerald green jade necklace and insisted on winning it. At this moment, the item being auctioned on stage was a diamond ring. The blue diamond set on a platinum base was extremely eye-catching. Duong Yuyan was immediately attracted by the diamond ring. She pulled Fo Ten Tam's sleeve, saying, "New, Duong Yuyan Tan Tam, I want this diamond ring." Fo Ten Tam looked at the ring on stage, lost in thought for a moment. He suddenly remembered the pink diamond ring Tam Lak Vai once wore at HW. At that time he thought Tam Lak Vai bought the ring to force marriage. Because of this he was angry for a long time. Now thinking back at that time, Tam Lak Vai completely had no such intention. She was just choosing a wedding ring with Cayenne. Thinking of this, a feeling of annoyance suddenly surged in Fu Ten Tam's heart. Seeing Fu Ten Tam looking at the ring on stage dazed, Duong Yuan lightly pulled him. "Nu, Duong Yuan Tan Tam?" Fu Ten Tam recovered, taking a deep breath, then said to Duong Yuan,
Okay, if you like it then buy it.
Finishing his words, Fu Ten Tam raised the bidding paddle in his hand and started bidding. Tam Lak Vai heard Fu Ten Tam bidding, unconsciously turned her head to look, just in time to meet Fu Ten Tam's gaze. Fu Ten Tam met Tam Lak Vai's gaze, his heart trembled violently, then a trace of indiscernible smugness flashed in his eyes. The price he offered also became larger and larger. Finally, Fu Ten Tam successfully won this diamond ring with a price of 15 million. Duong Yuan, seeing this, her eyes filled with joy, the corners of her lips couldn't stop curving up. "Nu, Duong Yuan Tan Tam, thank you."
As long as you like it.
Although these words were said to Duong Yuan, his eyes were glued to Tam Lak Vai. Tam Lak Vai just turned her head to look at him. Did that mean she still cared very much about the ring matter? Thinking like this, Fu Ten Tam's mood was much better. In the following auction sessions, Tam Lak Vai successfully won the jade necklace and a few other jewelry items intending to gift her parents. After the auction ended, everyone went to the banquet hall to attend the dinner party. Tam Lak Vai held Cayenne's arm walking towards the banquet hall. Just entering, someone approached to chat with Cayenne, one wave after another endlessly. Tam Lak Vai stood for a while, gently whispering into Cayenne's ear. "I'm going to the restroom for a bit." Cayenne heard this and nodded. Tam Lak Vai let go of Cayenne's hand and walked towards the restroom. Just stepping out of the restroom, she was pulled strongly into the stairwell next to it by a hand. The sound of the door closing was quite loud. The voice-activated light in the stairwell suddenly turned on. Tam Lak Vai took this opportunity to see clearly the person in front. Fu Ten Tam. She shook off Fu Ten Tam's hand, stepping past him, intending to go out. Fu Ten Tam blocked her way.
Tam Lak Vai, wait. I have something to say to you.
He blocked the exit. Tam Lak Vai had to stop. "Whatever it is, say it fast. My husband is still waiting for me outside." Fu Ten Tam paused, frowning even tighter.
Tam Lak Vai, with your status, Cayenne cannot sincerely be with you. Rich people like that change women faster than changing clothes. Trust me, I'm not lying to you. You should leave him soon, otherwise the one hurt in the end will definitely be you. Let me take you back to Shanghai, okay? You want to get married? We will go back there to register immediately. Whatever style of diamond ring you want, I will buy for you. The blue diamond just auctioned. After the party, I will have someone send it to your hand as our wedding ring, okay?
Seeing Tam Lak Vai still looking at him with an expressionless face, unmoved, Fu Ten Tam continued.
If you don't like that blue diamond, then choose what you like. I will buy everything for you, as long as you agree to come back with me.
Tam Lak Vai met Fu Ten Tam's gaze, slowly asking, "Then what about Duong Yuan?" Fu Ten Tam's body stiffened. Just now he saw Tam Lak Vai walking alone and chased after her without thinking, completely forgetting about Duong Yuan. Now hearing Tam Lak Vai mention Duong Yuan, Fu Ten Tam realized belatedly that perhaps he didn't care too much about Duong Yuan anymore. Thinking of this, Fu Ten Tam stepped forward, taking Tam Lak Vai's hand, facing her gaze honestly, saying,
Tam Lak Vai, after you left I realized actually I have loved you for a long time. Being with Duong Yuan was only because of unwillingness in youth and nostalgia for the first love. Rest assured, later I will clarify with her that the person I love is you. The person I want to marry is also you. Come back to me, okay?
Tam Lak Vai shook off his hand, sneering. Fu Ten Tam, your love I dare not accept. Now I am very happy, my husband, and I have very good feelings, will not divorce nor go back to you. We broke up. A qualified ex-boyfriend should act as if dead. Don't appear in front of me again in the future. Finishing her words, Tam Lak Vai stepped past Fu Ten Tam, pushing the stairwell door, preparing to return to the banquet hall. Fu Ten Tam grabbed her wrist again, speaking in a deep voice.
Tam Lak Vai, your social status and his are too disparate. Cayenne cannot be sincere with you. You have to believe me.
Hearing this, Tam Lak Vai said nothing, shaking off Fu Ten Tam's hand, then walking straight. When returning to the banquet hall, Tam Lak Vai saw a beautiful woman talking to Kai Yan, while Kai Yan appeared cold. Tam Lak Vai realized that woman kept staring at Kai Yan. That look was absolutely not simple. Seeing this, Tam Lak Vai unconsciously walked faster to Kai Yan's side, then conveniently held his arm. "Husband, I'm back." Kai Yan looked at Tam Lak Vai's action, a smile on the corner of his lips. He reached out to hold her waist, saying to Tam Lak Vai, "Nam, Kai Yan, this is the young miss of Quang Group, Quang Noyet." Finishing his words, he said to Quang Noyet, "Nam, Kai Yan, Miss Quang, let me introduce, this is my wife Tam Lak Vai." Quang Noyet heard this, evaluating Tam Lak Vai from top to bottom, a contemptuous smile blooming on the corner of her lips. "New, Quang Noyet, as far as I know, Miss Tam used to work as a tour guide, right? Such a status to be the madam of the Kai family is, I'm afraid, a bit unworthy, isn't it?" Saying so, Quang Noyet smiled at Kai Yan. "New, Quang Noyet, President Kai, believing we will meet again soon." Tam Lak Vai wasn't a soft persimmon either, provoked to this extent she naturally couldn't endure. Her gaze immediately turned icy. "Worthy or not, is it something an outsider like you can judge?" Thought those attending charity auctions were all educated people, didn't expect. The remaining words Tam Lak Vai didn't say out loud, but when looking towards Quang Noyet, that contemptuous look said it all. Not waiting for Quang Noyet to open her mouth, Kai Yan continued. "Nam, Kai Yan, Miss Quang has free time caring about the relationship between me and my wife. Might as well care about your family company's tax issues." Saying so, Kai Yan politely smiled at Quang Noyet once, then led Tam Lak Vai away. Quang Noyet lost face, naturally couldn't swallow this anger. She directed towards the backs of the two, saying, "New, Quang Noyet, Kai Yan, she is just a tour guide, completely unworthy of you. Sooner or later you will regret it." The two stood still. Tam Lak Vai heard this, turning her head to look at Quang Noyet again, just about to speak when hearing the banquet host on stage steal the voice. "Nam, MC, today's auction being organized so successfully cannot lack the support of esteemed entrepreneurs. We have received all donations from you, but I want to specially announce a piece of good news. The heiress of Tam Group, Miss Tam Lak Vai, has donated an additional 100 million yuan specifically for sponsoring girls in poor mountainous areas. Please let us all thank her for her contribution." While Tam Lak Vai was speaking, the host led the applause. Everyone in the banquet hall also applauded in unison. Quang Noyet stared in shock towards Tam Lak Vai. Equally shocked were Duong Yuyan and Fo Tan Tam, who had just entered the banquet hall. Fo Tan Tam stood frozen on the spot. "Tam Group? Tam Lak Vai donated 100 million yuan? Any of these words, when separated, Fo Tan Tam recognized, but when put together, he felt extremely strange. He even thought in his heart there must be someone with the same name as Tam Lak Vai. If Tam Lak Vai was the Tam Group heiress, why would she work as a tour guide and willingly be his secret lover for 7 years? Fo Tan Tam kept deceiving himself, but reality was laid out before his eyes. The gaze of the entire auditorium fell on Tam Lak Vai. His ears were filled with everyone's discussions. "Nam, guess those who know Tam Lak Vai are lamenting. It turns out the person standing next to President Kai is truly Tam Lak Vai." "New, guess people rumored the Tam and Fo families were intermarrying and I didn't even believe it. Turns out it's true. Heard the eldest miss of the Tam family ran away from home 8 years ago. For 7 years barely appeared in the capital circle. People not knowing is normal." Those who didn't know Tam Lak Vai started asking quietly. "Nam, guessed is Tam Group the Tam Group I know?" "New, guessed in Beijing how many people named Tam can take out 100 million yuan? Naturally it's the Tam family in the capital. Just didn't expect Miss Tam to be so generous. First appearance after 8 years, striking with 100 million. The sound of everyone's discussion rang incessantly. Fo Tan Tam only felt a panic. He knew the Tam family in the capital, their status in Beijing was not inferior to the Kai family. Both were forces one couldn't casually provoke. Tam Lak Vai ran away from home 8 years ago, struggling on her own in Shanghai, then being with him. During that time, she never mentioned family matters. The only time she wanted to take him home ended in unhappiness. At that time, he couldn't possibly associate Tam Lak Vai with the Tam family in the capital. Even later, knowing she married Kai Yan, he completely didn't think in that direction. Only because in the 7 years Tam Lak Vai was with him, she hid it too well. Her information was also protected very carefully. Thinking back to just now, he was earnestly advising Tam Lak Vai to divorce Kai Yan with heartfelt words. Fo Tan Tam felt he was truly a complete joke. On the other side, Kwang Noyet was shocked to the point of unable to form a sentence. "New, Kwang Noyet, you're actually Tam Lak Vai of the Tam family?" Tam Lak Vai smiled. "That's right, do you see me as qualified now?" "New, Kwang Noyet, Miss Kwang." At this moment, Kwang Noyet's back was covered in cold sweat, her body trembling uncontrollably, unable to say another word. Kai Yan coldly glanced at Kwang Noyet, then hugged Tam Lak Vai's waist, walking towards the other side. Halfway there, Tam Lak Vai pulled the corner of Kai Yan's shirt, asking in a low voice, "Kai Yan, do you find me a bit petty?" Kai Yan smiled, thumb rubbing Tam Lak Vai's waist, speaking gently. "Nom, Kai Yan, no, I like it." When saying these words, Kai Yan's eyes were full of smiling intent, his tone also not fake at all. Tam Lak Vai met his eyes, then quickly withdrew her gaze, walking quickly to the dessert counter, casually picking up a portion to eat to hide her wildly beating heart. At this moment, Fo Tan Tam and Duong Yuyan walked up to her. Duong Yuyan, after knowing Tam Lak Vai's true identity, stood stunned on the spot for a long time, unable to calm down. Even in her dreams, she didn't expect Tam Lak Vai to be a member of the Tam family, also the Tam family heiress, a wealthy young miss worthy of the name. Thinking of the matter, Fo Tan Tam abandoning her to chase Tam Lak Vai just now, in her heart she was extremely panicked. Tam Lak Vai's current status was completely worthy of Fo Tan Tam, even surplus. Although now she was married, but before she willingly stayed with Fo Tan Tam for 7 years without status, her feelings for Fo Tan Tam could be seen. Now the identity exposed, Fo Tan Tam always couldn't forget her. If the two got back together, wouldn't she have no chance with Fo Tan Tam anymore? Duong Yuyan, the more she thought, the more unwilling she felt, so seemingly possessed, she walked up to Tam Lak Vai, preparing to ask clearly. Just as Duong Yuyan stood firm in front of Tam Lak Vai, Fo Tan Tam followed close behind, also arriving in front of her. Tam Lak Vai, seeing this, immediately lost all appetite, putting down the dessert in hand, turning to leave, but was blocked by the two. "Nom, Fo Tan Tam, and New, Duong Yuyan, I have something to say to you." Kai Yan arrived just in time, conveniently standing beside Tam Lak Vai, looking at the two with an unsightly face, opening his mouth. "Nom, Kai Yan, may I ask what business you two have with my wife? Why not tell me first?" Fo Tan Tam, seeing this, frowned. "Nom, Fo Tan Tam, President Kai, I want to borrow her for a moment to speak privately." Hearing this, Kai Yan turned his head to look at Tam Lak Vai, seeing only impatience clearly written on her face. Kai Yan looked at Fo Tan Tam again. "Nom, Kai Yan, sorry, my wife doesn't want to talk to you too very much. Asking permission to excuse ourselves first." Saying so, he led Tam Lak Vai, turning to leave. Fo Tan Tam was unwilling, but because of the status of the two families, Tam and Fo, he could only temporarily let it go. Duong Yuyan too, her family background, although approximately equal to Fo Tan Tam, but that was a matter of years ago. Moreover, being in Beijing now, the Duong family wasn't enough. The banquet continued. Kai Yan led Tam Lak Vai, leaving the banquet hall. Sitting in the back seat of the Rolls-Royce, Tam Lak Vai shed her fatigue, gently leaning her head on Kai Yan's shoulder. Kai Yan conveniently hugged her into his arms. "Nom, Kai Yan, are you tired? Should have taken you back earlier." Tam Lak Vai shook her head, remembering Kwang Noyet provoking her just now. She couldn't help asking, "Who is that Kwang Noyet? Why did she say those words to you? Was she a pursuer of yours before?" When she said these words, sourness filled the car. Kai Yan, seeing this, was extremely happy. Knowing Tam Lak Vai was jealous, he honestly replied, "Nom, Kai Yan, before the Kwang family had intentions to intermarry with me, but just coming to the door I rejected directly. However, Kwang Noyet refused to give up. I said I was married, but she didn't believe it. The two families intermarrying wasn't loud. Everyone only knew the marriage partner was the Tam family, but didn't know truth or falsehood. Close people would definitely not doubt, but the majority still had suspicions. After all, Tam Lak Vai hadn't appeared in the capital circle for 8 years, just returning having news of marrying Kai Yan. Momentarily, everyone still found it hard to believe. Hearing this, Tam Lak Vai sat straight, remembering Fo Tan Tam's words on the stairs about her status not being worthy of Kai Yan. She thought for a bit, then suggested, "Then shall we go public? Like that no one will come to disturb us anymore, nor anyone doubt anymore." Kai Yan nodded in agreement without hesitation. "Nom, Kai Yan, okay." Saying so, he took out his phone, sending a message to Assistant Hua. Not long after, Tam Lak Vai's phone rang with message notifications. Her friends continuously sent messages congratulating. New friend, message, Tam family eldest miss finally agreed to go public. Truly, you just returned, making a big hit. Her best friend Lam Neem even sent several messages in a row. New Lam Neem, message, you guys married for so long yet now he finally announced your relationship. Reprehensible. Below was a screenshot of the hot search ranking on Weibo. The top position prominently displayed, Kai Group president publicly announces marriage. Tam Lak Vai opened Weibo. Hitting her eyes was content posted on Kai Group's official account. A photo of marriage registration and a wedding photo not revealing faces attached with the text, 100 years of harmony, Whiteheads tied forever. Tam Group's official account immediately reposted, "Congratulations to eldest miss on happy new marriage." Tam Lak Vai, seeing this, joy surged in her heart. Corners of lips couldn't stop curving up. Kai Yan, seeing Tam Lak Vai keep looking at the phone, joy clearly on her face. In his heart, he also felt happy along. Tam Lak Vai exited Weibo messaging to reply to Lam Neem. New message, before I didn't think of that. Today I saw someone right in front wanting to dig the wall, momentarily couldn't control, so told him to announce. Lam Neem quickly replied. New Lam Neem, message, are you jealous? Tam Lak Vai saw Lam Neem's message, hand typing froze. Jealous? She secretly turned her head to look at Kai Yan once. At this moment, Kai Yan was looking down, checking reports on the tablet. Noticing Tam Lak Vai's gaze, Kai Yan looked up asking, Nom, Kai Yan, what's wrong? Tam Lak Vai hurriedly shook her head. Nothing, you just work. Saying so, she quickly lowered her head, pretending to be very busy, but actually in her heart she was restless like a deer running wild. Did she show it so clearly? Lam Neem just relied on one sentence to see through. Then didn't Kai Yan also see through? They were together less than half a year. Could it be she truly loved Kai Yan already? Before, she had goodwill towards Kai Yan. After all, Kai Yan was handsome and good to her. She couldn't not be moved. But she always reminded herself in her heart not to easily fall in love with him. What if Kai Yan was also like others, just treating her as fleeting fun? In the end, the one hurt was still her. But ultimately, she couldn't restrain being moved by Kai Yan. The only thing affirmable was her feeling for Kai Yan was different from Fo Tan Tam. Fo Tan Tam was an emotional value support she found for herself, while Kai Yan was a liking not mixed with any purpose. Tam Lak Vai turned her head to look out the window, thoughts confused. The Rolls-Royce stopped at De Hoa Vien Mansion. Tam Lak Vai got out of the car, not waiting for Kai Yan, walking straight into the villa first. Now just seeing Kai Yan, her heart would beat faster for no reason. She could only avoid him first, calm down her mood and arrange her thoughts. This situation lasted for half a month. Kai Yan didn't understand why Tam Lak Vai kept avoiding him. Finally, one day after dinner, when Tam Lak Vai prepared to go upstairs, he stopped her. Nom, Kai Yan Lak Vai, why do you keep avoiding me? Did I do something not good making you unhappy? Tam Lak Vai momentarily choked on words, haven't thought of how to answer, so shook her head. No, it's my own problem. Kai Yan, seeing this, gently sighed. Nom, Kai Yan, don't want to say, then fine. If I did something making you unhappy, you just tell me. Although we are a commercial marriage without emotional foundation, but after months of living together, I am forced to admit I have developed different feelings for you. I hope we can continue walking together. If I have anything not good, you don't need to be apprehensive, just say straight to me. Hearing this, Tam Lak Vai's heart trembled. She didn't expect Kai Yan to be so direct. Could this be considered a confession? Tam Lak Vai stood dead on the spot, momentarily didn't know how to react. Kai Yan stepped forward, hugging her into his arms, gently speaking by her ear. Nam, Kai Yan, I have to go on a business trip for half a month. Won't appear in front of you. When back, I want to know the reason you keep avoiding me, okay? Tam Lak Vai hugged Kai Yan back, smelling the familiar ebony scent on him, silently nodding. After Kai Yan went on the business trip, Tam Lak Vai didn't want to be alone in such a big villa, so moved to Lam Nim's villa to stay with her. Knowing the two stayed together, old friends continuously invited Tam Lak Vai to gather. These friends were close friends since childhood, understanding each other well, relationships very good. Since Tam Lak Vai returned hadn't had time, now free naturally wouldn't refuse. While gathering, she didn't forget to report daily schedule to Kai Yan. Kai Yan would also send his schedule to her. This was what the two agreed on before. Even not beside each other must know what the other did during the day to cultivate feelings. Today Tam Lak Vai and Lam Nim went shopping at SKP. Tam Lak Vai originally intended to buy new season clothes for herself, but while choosing, her hand unconsciously touched the men's section. Picking up a shirt, she imagined the scene of Kai Yan wearing it in her head. Waiting until coming back to senses, the shopping guide held over 10 sets of men's clothes in hand. 3 shopping guides followed behind her. The head guide smiled, looking at Tam Lak Vai, asking, "New essay, miss, shall I wrap all these for you?" Tam Lak Vai didn't hesitate, handing another coat in hand to the guide. "Add this one too, wrap together." "New essay, yes, please wait a moment." The guide immediately smiled brilliantly. Lam Nim, seeing this, couldn't help teasing. "New, Lam Nim, buying stuff for yourself, I didn't see you so enthusiastic. Kai Yan indeed has great charm." Tam Lak Vai teased by Lam Nim, she admitted frankly. "You're right, when loving give all heart, when stop loving immediately withdraw. Cannot because of Fo Ten Tam give up love, after all Kai Yan and him are not alike." Lam Nim heard this, smiling, nodding. "New, Lam Nim, you finally thought it through, not wasting my effort as love consultant advising for so long." During this time Tam Lak Vai told all her worries to Lam Nim. Lam Nim advised her for a long time. In their class there is no pure love. Tam Lak Vai already liked Kai Yan, so should bravely pursue. Anyway, if no longer love, she still has rights and benefits, never suffering loss. Tam Lak Vai chose over 10 sets of men's clothes for Kai Yan, then bought a few sets for herself, then left the mall with Lam Nim. Just walking out of the mall, Tam Lak Vai received a strange phone call. She hung up, but it called again. Lam Nim, seeing this, opened her mouth. "New, Lam Nim, who is it? So persistent. Or just answer it." Tam Lak Vai was also curious who it was, so answered. "Hello, who is this?" A familiar voice came from the other end. It was Fo Ten Tam. "Nam, Fo Ten Tam, Tam Lak Vai, I am in Beijing. Can you meet me for a bit?" When Fo Ten Tam spoke, his tone carried a bit of pleading. Tam Lak Vai thought a bit, then nodded, agreeing. "Okay, 10 a.m. tomorrow, I will send the address to you." Saying so, she hung up. Since the auction ended, Tam Lak Vai's head was full of Kai Yan's matters, completely forgetting Fo Ten Tam. She didn't know what Fo Ten Tam looked for her to say, but she wanted to use this opportunity to clarify everything once. She was married, naturally didn't want ex-boyfriend frequently coming to disturb her life. Lam Nim asked curiously. "New, Lam Nim who?" Tam Lak Vai answered truthfully. "Fo Ten Tam. He said he wanted to talk to me." "New, Lam Nim, you agreed to meet him? He knew your identity, so started playing tricks to cling?" Tam Lak Vai shook her head. "No. I understand Fo Ten Tam. He is not that kind of person." "Just right, I also have things to say to him. Take this chance to say clearly once. Avoid letting him continue disturbing my life." Hearing this, Lam Nim said nothing more. She knew Tam Lak Vai handled things with measure, so didn't interfere anymore. The two strolled other malls for a while, then Lam Nim drove Tam Lak Vai back to De Hoa Vien Mansion. After Tam Lak Vai returned to Beijing, Father Tam had been eager for her to take over the company, preparing to retire early to travel around the world with Mother Tam. After a few days relaxing with Lam Nim, Tam Lak Vai should also start working. Arriving at the villa, Tam Lak Vai personally hung the clothes bought for Cayenne in the cloakroom. Finished hanging, she took photos, sending to Cayenne. New message, I bought new season clothes for you. Wait for you to come back to try. Cayenne quickly replied with a voice message. Nom, Cayenne, voice, okay, thank you, wife. The deep hoarse voice transmitted from the earpiece. Tam Lak Vai's heart trembled slightly and her ears secretly turned red. She took a deep breath, putting away the phone, adjusting mood, then turned to walk into the study, starting work. On the other side, Cayenne looked at photos of clothes Tam Lak Vai bought for him, corners of lips unconsciously raised. He looked intently for a while, then put away phone, with Assistant Hua boarding plane to next business location. Coincidentally, Duong Yuyan also flew this flight. Duong Yuyan was slightly surprised seeing Cayenne, but she didn't appear in front of him, only waiting. After getting off plane, she blocked him before he left airport. New Duong Yuyan, President Kai, convenient to speak privately for a moment? Assistant Hua, besides seeing this, stepped up, blocking in front of Duong Yuyan. Nom, Assistant Hua, sorry Miss Duong, please step aside. Cayenne didn't even look at Duong Yuyan, walking straight to the commercial car parked by the road. Seeing Cayenne about to leave, Duong Yuyan hurriedly opened her mouth. New Duong Yuyan, President Kai, what I want to say is Tam Lak Vai's matter. Are you sure you don't want to hear? Cayenne's steps paused. He turned head, looking at Duong Yuyan. After a long while, he slowly said, Nom, Cayenne, fine. I am also slightly curious what Miss Duong wants to say. Assistant Hua, take Miss Duong to Xiangye residence. Saying so, Cayenne got in car first, instructing driver to drive to Xiangye residence. After Cayenne left, Assistant Hua took Duong Yuyan onto another commercial car going to Xiangye residence. Duong Yuyan went to hotel to change clothes first, then went to private room finding Cayenne. Cayenne, seeing Duong Yuyan sit down, went straight to the point. Nom, Cayenne, Miss Duong has something, then say straight, I am in a hurry. Duong Yuyan felt the pressure radiating from Cayenne. She drank a sip of tea on table to calm spirit, then opened mouth. New Duong Yuyan, does President Kai know Miss Tam lived in Tan Tam's house for 7 years? Nom, Cayenne. Cayenne's expression didn't change, eyes slightly narrowed. Say straight if you have something. This time Duong Yuyan looked for Cayenne. She wanted him to know Tam Lak Vai wasn't perfect at all. Her living with a man for 7 years before marriage was no different from being married. She didn't believe a person of Cayenne's level would willingly accept a woman who lived with a man and almost connected seamlessly like that. Duong Yuyan admitted she was jealous of Tam Lak Vai. Why did Tam Lak Vai have such good family background and marriage partner was both kind and capable? She just wanted to smear Tam Lak Vai in front of Cayenne, just wanted to create a rift between the two. Duong Yuyan of the past wasn't like this. Perhaps in the past half-month, Fo Tan Tam, increasingly cold, made her lose sense of security, and psychology also changed. Taking back thoughts, Duong Yuyan looked up straight at Cayenne, opening mouth. New Duong Yuyan, I just didn't expect an illustrious figure like President Kai to accept such a woman. Cayenne heard this, eyes even colder, but corners of lips kept a smile appearing non-existent. Nom, Cayenne, at our level, before marriage everyone is the same. I never cared about her past, but her future only has me alone. As for you, Duong Yuyan, I hope this is the last time I hear about my wife from your mouth. If there is a next time, I dare not guarantee I can still sit here calmly listening to you speak. Moreover, watch over your man Fo Tan Tam. If he still lusts after my wife, I don't mind letting him disappear from this world. Finishing words, Cayenne stood up, leaving. Duong Yuyan, scared, sweating cold back, fingers clutching teacup, trembling nonstop, in heart surged a regret. After recovering, Duong Yuyan immediately flew back to Shanghai in the night. From then on, she dared not mention another word about Tam Lak Vai. Cayenne meant what he said. She couldn't involve family because of personal interest. The next day in Beijing, in private room of Zhen Wei Fong restaurant. When Tam Lak Vai arrived, Fo Tan Tam had finished ordering and was waiting for her. The moment seeing Tam Lak Vai, a flash of joy passed through Fo Tan Tam's eyes, which he himself didn't notice. After she sat down, Fo Tan Tam pushed the plate of Sichuan-style stir-fried meat towards her. Nom, Fo Tan Tam, eat first, eat and talk. Tam Lak Vai didn't move. Speak straight, I am in a hurry. Fo Tan Tam's hand-picking food paused. Nom, Fo Tan Tam, before no matter how late I came home you waited for me. Now you aren't willing to spare this little time for me? You also said that was before. Tam Lak Vai said lightly. Fo Tan Tam realized the annoyance on her face, putting down chopsticks, going straight to the point. Nom, Fo Tan Tam, I want to say the person I really love is you, not Duong Yuyin. For 7 years, I always refused to admit feelings for you, did many things hurting you. I'm sorry. Tam Lak Vai heard Fo Tan Tam speak, in heart completely no ripple. Fo Tan Tam, grow up. When with me you kept yearning for Duong Yuyin. Duong Yuyin returned, you didn't decisively get back with her, nor proactively broke up with me. You just wanted to see us fight for you to highlight your charm. A person truly loving someone won't bear to let that person suffer any grievance. Fo Tan Tam couldn't deny. He was truly very childish, his love also wasn't worth much. I don't want to say much anymore. In future, I also don't want to mention these things again. Like I told you, my feelings for you, you don't need to take as real. I don't hate you that much. You stayed with me 7 years, helping me not be lonely. We owe each other nothing. Everything ends here. Saying so, Tam Lak Vai turned to leave. Fo Tan Tam called her back. Nom, Fo Tan Tam, then initially what was your reason for being with me? Tam Lak Vai turned back, facing his expectant eyes, slowly said. Because you look handsome in uniform, and I also just needed someone to provide emotional value. We were just mutually beneficial, just that. Finishing words, Tam Lak Vai didn't care about Fo Tan Tam's reaction, turning to leave. Fo Tan Tam watched Tam Lak Vai's back, smiling self-deprecatingly. All strength seemed to be drained. All matters ultimately were just his imagination. When Tam Lak Vai looked at him, eyes completely didn't ripple. Fo Tan Tam knew between them there would be no more possibility, but all these things couldn't blame others, only blame himself. After returning to Shanghai, Fo Tan Tam made clear with Duong Yuyin that he no longer had feelings for her, then cut off completely. He sold the Dan Palace house, ended pilot job, starting to inherit company. He put all mind into work, no longer in mood for love, finally moved abroad, living lonely alone till end of life. Duong Yuyin quit chief purser job, returning to Los Angeles, from then on no news. On the other hand, just as Kai Yan ended business trip returning home, Tam Lak Vai got off work early. She pushed door entering, hitting eyes was whole house filled with roses. Following the road covered in roses, when arriving at living room, she saw Kai Yan standing amidst a forest of flowers. Kai Yan smiled, walking to her, leading her to the center, then knelt on one knee, taking out a ring from pocket holding in front of her. Nom, Kai Yan, Tam Lak Vai, do you agree to marry me? The gentleness in Kai Yan's eyes seemed to want to drown Tam Lak Vai. Tam Lak Vai's cheeks blushed. Haven't I already married you? Nom, Kai Yan shook his head. Us of that time is different from now. I want to ask, currently do you agree to marry me? Tam Lak Vai immediately understood Kai Yan's meaning. She reached out hand. I agree. Kai Yan smiled, bending eyes when receiving affirmative answer. He put the ring on Tam Lak Vai's ring finger, standing up, hugging her into arms. Nom, Kai Yan, Tam Lak Vai, thank you for coming to my side. Thank you for agreeing to marry me. Thank you for letting me find the meaning of living. Since young Kai Yan witnessed too many dark sides of humanity, causing him to once fall into world-weary state, even had times wanting to leave this world before meeting Tam Lak Vai. But moment seeing Tam Lak Vai, those thoughts all vanished. He himself couldn't explain why it was like that. In summary, he found meaning of life. That was being with Tam Lak Vai. After both confessed feelings to each other, Kai Yan carried Tam Lak Vai upstairs. During intimacy, Tam Lak Vai hugged Kai Yan, softly opening mouth. Kai Yan, I fell in love with you, what to do? Kai Yan smirked, lifting her hand overhead, 10 fingers interlaced tightly. Fragmented kisses fell on corners of her lips, voice deep and hoarse like whisper of siren, carrying a bit of temptation. Nom, Kai Yan, you say what to do, I will do as followed. Tam Lak Vai wrapped arms around Kai Yan's neck, whispering by his ear. Then I want you to forever stay with me, be good to me for a lifetime. Nom, Kai Yan tightened embrace. As you command.